Hi, and welcome to the Ada K Show. I am Ada K. Brown, and am currently a criminal justice major, and I'm a deaf courtroom commentator. Grab a cup of Java, and let's dive in. I'm back. Didn't get lunch, but I'm back because Sementilli is back. Okay, Miss Sementilli is back. Yay! And I left my glasses in the car. Got these. Excuse me. And so we're going to go back into court and get involved with Miss Sementilli now. We had an interesting day with Miss Karen Reed. Thank God that the motion that we wanted to hear was in her favor. Let's see, love affair, there it is. And so I will go back over and break all that down tomorrow. So, all right. Are y'all ready for Miss Sementilli? Hello, everybody. Hey, babe. Hey, June. Hey, Gerald. Hey, Libby. Hey, Kathy. I sound like somebody else we know, don't I? Yes, I do. All right, let's get into Miss Sementilli.
Continue.
We're asking that you play for the jury in court the proffer that was engaged in with Mr. Austin and the prosecution. We're starting with.
Is it me or is it typical?
There were two separate days, but it's part of the same proffer, and we'd like to start playing proffer one for the jury if we can.
Now let's do first things first. We used to have that marked, the audio as 281.
Yes.
And is that on a CD or is it on a?
It'll be on a thumb drive.
Thumb drive, thank you very much. And the transcript itself, it'll be 282. And copies have been given to the jury, and again, the admonition as the transcript applies.
We're on defense exhibits, I believe it's in 6.
Oh my
I'm going to get my glasses. These aren't working.
632?
Yeah, I hate to admit this, but I made a mistake. We'll erase that from the record. All right, 632 is the other, and I apologize for that, and thank you very much for the correction. Okay, for it later. The transcript is 633, and I apologize.
The jurors are ready. We're ready.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're here at November 18th, 2024 at 10:48 in the morning. Sorry, it was 10:49. We're at Robert Homicide Division in a conference room over at LAPD. And we are sitting for a proper session with Defendant Christopher Austin, his lawyer Simon Ball, the two investigating officers on this case,
Detective Corey Rowe.
and a DA paralegal, Eileen Miller, and the two DAs assigned to this case. My name's Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman. I work in the Major Crimes Division at Everett. And you've met Heather before. And we have a certified court reporter who's also transcribing everything you say. Sarah, you want to go ahead and put your name? So it's, do you want me to call you by your first name or your last name? Whatever makes you most comfortable. Christopher? Okay. So it's been brought to our attention that you wanted to sit with us to provide information on the the murder of Fabio Sementilli that took place back in January, on January 23rd, actually, of 2017. The information came by way of your attorney. There is a proper agreement that's dated November 5th, that your lawyer and I have both signed. I'm going to provide it to you to read through with your lawyer and sign, assuming that all of it is consistent with the discussions you've had off the record with your attorney regarding what's going to happen today.
This is Simon Aval, the attorney of record, and Mr. Christopher Austin. I have had a chance to explain to him the parameters of a proper meeting, which is what we are here for today. And I have signed this documentation dated November 18, 2024.
As have I.
And I just want to reiterate for the record that at this time, there have been no offers extended to Mr. Austin. We are here in good faith to provide truthful information about the investigation. We are aware that this information cannot be used against Mr. Austin in their case in chief in the event this matter proceeds to trial against Mr. Austin. However, this information can be used for impeachment. In other words, if Mr. Austin were to go to trial, take the stand, and testify, this information could be used if it is inconsistent with his testimony in trial to impeach him. To essentially say that when you were testifying at the trial is different than what you're saying today. That should not be the problem. We're going to give a truthful statement and information about this case today, tomorrow, or any other day in the future.
And that is the people's understanding as well. Do you understand that, Mr. Berman?
Yes, yes.
So that means whatever you tell us here today cannot be used against you if, let's say, no offer is made to you based on the information you provide today, or you decline whatever offer is potentially made to you by the district attorney's office. If you were to go to trial, we can't use what you tell us here today against you unless you get on the stand. Then this information, whatever you say today, it can be used to impeach your trial testimony.
Mr. Austin has signed the document, and I'm dating it November 18, 2024. And Christopher, just make sure when you answer the questions, you speak up, because we are recording this conversation.
I'm going to give a copy of this proper agreement to your attorney, if not by email today, then tomorrow. Also, a copy of the recording will be provided to your attorney so that he can go over that with you. Eventually, there'll be a transcript, and once that is reviewed for any type of corrections, that will also be provided to your lawyer. So your lawyer will have a copy of everything that's done today. As I'm sure you've discussed with your attorney, and I know also was discussed with you in Vancouver, Washington, the most important thing in this case is that you are entirely truthful with us. And I know that was stressed to you not only by the detectives in this case, Detective Byers and Detective Burrell, but also by Kevin Stable, who was there at the time that you made various statements that were interviewed during the arrest process up in Washington. That are also applied today. As your attorney has indicated, there are no promises, there are no offers on the table at this time. Based on what you tell us today, the value of that information, whether or not the information that you provide to us can be corroborated or verified by other sources. All of that will come into play along with your last criminal record, the employment that you had at the time that you were arrested on this case, and everything else that we have come to know about you over our investigation that's taken place over the last few years. And at that point, assuming that you provide information that we believe is truthful, that is valuable in some manner, and that can be verified, then and only then may the district attorney's office engage in some type of plea negotiations with your lawyer. And then obviously you will have further conversations with your lawyer about that at this time. But today, you're here solely to give us, provide information that is truthful and the best of your recollection. And when I say truthful, that means a couple different things. Number one, it means that all of your answers are thorough and complete. That means you can't go back any information. If I believe that there is more information that you are not providing, then that would be an indication to me that you would not be truthful. Also, when you say, I don't remember, then again, if that's because you're holding back information that you just don't want to tell us, and it's information that reasonably somebody in your position who's never committed a crime of violence before should remember, again, that can be used as in our analysis of whether or not we're going to offer you any type of disposition in this case if we believe you are not being honest. If it's something you never knew, never heard, were never told, then the answer would be, I don't know. And that would indicate to us that you never had access to that information. It was never set in front of you, it was never presented to you, you just didn't have any information about that. So, I wanted to make sure you understood the difference between an answer that is, I don't remember, versus an answer that is, I don't know. Also, if at any point in time during our conversation today, you feel the need to discuss anything with your lawyer in private, we will immediately stop the interview. Either we will all leave the room or we'll put you and your lawyer in a conference room next door and you can talk to him, which will be off the record, not recorded, and confidential, and you can do that as many times as you like. If you want to stop the interview for any purpose because you just need a moment to yourself, or you need to use the restroom, or you need something to eat or drink, obviously there's drinks that are provided through the day, but if at any time you need a moment to yourself, again, all you have to do is say, you know what, I need a moment, or tell your lawyer I need a moment. He is, as I've indicated, free to jump in at any time and stop the interview if he needs a break or he wants to talk to you as well, because we obviously want to make sure that number one, we're getting truth from you, but number two, that you're as comfortable as possible under the circumstances, and that you have every opportunity to speak to your lawyer throughout this process.
Thank you.
Does that sound fair? Does that sound fair?
Yes.
At no time during this interview is there going to be any coercion, any threats. We are not here to try to make you feel bad. We are not here to try and judge you. I have the feeling, based on my review of your interview and the statements that you made while you were in the jail cell in Vancouver, Washington on the day of arrest, that you've probably done enough criticism of yourself. So we're not here to do any of that. We are moving forward.
Okay, gossip, rumor, and innuendo. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. The person on the stand is Monica Sementilli's lover's friend who called him Unc or Uncle. He is one of the two people who participated in the unaliving of the husband of Monica Sementilli, Fabio Sementilli. He's already testified once. He's testifying in a rebuttal. And I believe his story far more than I did the other guy. He says he only stabbed him once, I think in the leg or somewhere. But the other guy that was on earlier, Mr. Baker, was the one that did 90% of the dirty deed. So thank you guys. I left them at my brother's. I had to go back and get them because I can't do without them. But anyway, I feel sorry for this guy. He really didn't want to be a part of it, but he couldn't tell the guy no. Yeah, I know. So anyway, that's what we are. Welcome everybody. All my newbies, welcome. If you hit the thumbs up, give me the I liked as you see it like this. Say I liked, and you will be entered into the end of the day drawing to be eligible for a potential chance to win the giveaway at the end of the month, which is a $50 gift card to wherever you like. As long as I can access it, I will get it for you. So far, we have 6 of you. Yay! Okay, my voice is getting really rough. I'm not, shouldn't probably be talking, but I am. So I'm going to let this keep going.
Forward, and we're here today to see what it is that you can tell us regarding this horrific crime. And again, anytime you need a moment, all you have to do is speak up. You can either do that yourself or you can let your lawyers know. Does that all sound fair to you? Do you have any questions for me or any of the individuals in this room right now?
That hurt.
From my understanding, this is not going to be significantly close.
With the exception,
With the exception, you find it untruthful, impeached, if that's accurate or correct.
you did, and that again would only happen if you were to testify. So if we find what you say today to be untruthful, that you never hit the stand, you never take the stand in any proceeding, then it will not be used.
Let me simplify that for you. If hypothetically today you said, yes, I was there, then we go to trial, you get on the witness stand and say, I was never there. They can bring this up and say, well, you told us you were there on that day, therefore they were impeaching you. That's how I'm. So, okay, do you feel comfortable not moving forward?
Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, and just so you know, I'm asking you these things up front, but that doesn't mean you can't interrupt me at any time, or anybody that's in this room that's going to need to ask questions and ask your own questions. I want.
I'm trying not to do that.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to interrupt, but you can say things like, I don't understand your question. Do you mean this or do you mean that? Like clarify it so that we make sure that what you're answering and that you're clear on what you're answering is the specific question that's being asked of you. So if you have any questions about the nature of what we're asking, feel free to clarify that, either through your lawyer or directly at any of us. Because sometimes we're not all that eloquent and we fumble over ourselves, or there might be multiple meanings to certain questions, there might be multiple answers to certain questions. And I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to fully understand the questions that are being asked of you so that you're answering it in a way that is truthful. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other questions that you want to ask of any of us at this time?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to start out just by going through some basic questions with you. Yes, and before we do that, thank you, Sarah. Sarah is going to administer the oath so that what you say today will be under oath. are you right or left-handed? And tell us what your date of birth is. That makes you 38 years old? And what is your height? Approximately.
In my mind, I'm 6 foot.
In your mind?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". Okay. And approximately how much do you weigh?
That's a great question. Probably about 200 pounds now.
Okay. Do you think you weighed approximately that much back in January of 2017? Heavier in January?
I know you're very thoughtful, and I'm trying to, I'm sitting on you, and I can barely hear you. I apologize. I was heavy.
Boy, that was a very long morning. We're going to take our adjournment now for a lunch. I know you probably want to work through lunch. I don't blame you. I do have a judges meeting, unfortunately, that I have to attend. In any event, we will be in adjournment until 1:30. And the admonition applies. Now discuss this case among yourselves.
Y'all, that means we're going to be till 4:00 before they come back or close to that because they always have a 30-minute delay, I think. That's what they said anyway. Someone. So thank you guys for watching. Oh man, the Karen Reed was fun today, y'all. I will tell you that. Giveaway. Okay, so let me put that down. I'm going to find something for us to watch. I have started watching the on Max, the documentary on Karen Reed. Oh my gosh, that is good. That was too spicy. That got real spicy. Unfortunately, it was too long for me to replay for today. I would love to. Oh, that's right. Let me read this. Ted Daniel. Okay, let me read this. Done for the day. Next hearing is Tuesday the 25th. I'll wrap up today's hearing news after the evening. Judge wants a questionnaire relating to the pretrial publicity, what prospective jurors have and seen and heard. Judge Canoni says she needs evidence supporting the third-party culprit claim before making a decision if she will allow it to be used by the defense. David Yannetti announced in open court that the defense has identified a third-party culprit, or those they blame. Yannetti's potential third-party culprit we have identified are Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and Colin Albert. Courts resume. Brennan says the defense third-party corporate theory has changed over time, and he references my interviews with Karen Reed and statements in the courthouse steps. So there's that. I love Aiden Carney. He goes, oh, I'm going to play this. I can play this.
I hear now.
If you're not invited,
Hold on.
it might be because they're talking about you.
Okay. I don't know what she said, but I want to hear
We
it.
weren't
We're gonna
invited.
take it.
We didn't know. Now, I hear now.
If you're not invited, it might be because they're talking about you.
I got to turn it up. We're going to do it again.
Just saying.
We weren't invited. We didn't know. Now, I hear now.
If you're not invited, it might be because they're talking about you.
Some you're not invited, but my wife. What?
If you're not invited, it might be because they're talking about you.
I'm not getting.
Just saying. It was true in junior high. It's still true now.
We weren't invited. We didn't know. Now, I hear now.
If you're not invited, it might be because they're talking about you. Just saying. It was true in
I'm
junior
sorry.
high.
I did.
It's still true now.
Did y'all get what she said?
We weren't invited. We didn't know.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I hear now.
I'm deaf.
You're not
I can't
invited,
hear
it
when
might
they
be
whisper.
because they're talking about you.
Oh, I tried to crank everything up and it
Just
gets very
saying.
disorienting.
It was true in junior high. It's still true
So
now.
if it's not invited, it's because they're talking
We weren't
about
invited.
you. Gotcha.
We didn't
So
know.
Brian Albert did it. Colin
Now,
Albert did it.
I
Brian
hear
Higgins
now.
did it. That's the theory. So yay.
Alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7 months.
Get out the way. Get out.
Can't do that. I'll get copyrighted. Spanky claims. You get copyrighted. Okay, okay. So Spanky, I like it. I like the name Spanky. That's good. Shell Bell, thank you so much for joining and thank you for that. That's one thing about being deaf. When she does this, I can't lip read. Spanky claims that O'Keefe's state of mind is what he wanted to the end. What he wanted. What? John O'Keefe's state of mind is that he wanted to end the relationship with Karen Reed. Fact check. He repeatedly asked her to come to Canton to drive him around and wanted to go get snowed in with her until Monday. Here's their text chat. This is from Karen. Okay, let me know if you end up leaving. Why? You're not coming? Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this, y'all. I got to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Yes, we're going to have fun.
Okay, let me know if you're leaving.
Why? Now you're not coming?
I'm waiting for the plumber. I actually think he's in the driveway.
We're talking Mike's car, so I'm relying on you for a ride home if he leaves. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not muted. No, can y'all hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. Let's try it again. We're taking Mike's car, so I'm relying on you for a ride home if he leaves.
He's not going home after.
8 o'clock on Friday. He may have to get Michael. You have a plumber coming over at 8, knowing me and Pap could have handled it. Good luck.
Yeah, but he lives right down the road.
Karen, this storm is going to be intense. Can't drive.
Okay, well, if he can't, he can't.
I'll do it Monday.
I better not still have this problem on Monday.
You plan on being there?
I'd like to know that I can take a hot shower if I need to.
I'd like to. Sorry, my ears went out.
I'd like to know that I could take a hot shower if I need to.
Figured you'd be in Canton till Monday. I'm getting off my phone. Let me know what you're doing.
I think the four of us together is toxic to this relationship. Would you like to limit it? I'm sorry. You've said so yourself. For probably a year now.
Blizzard tomorrow. Nobody's going anywhere.
Maybe I'll come back late tonight. Bad snow is in the early a.m. I'll head up there in a few minutes. Let me know if you leave.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Ugh, I hate being sick. I hate it. I can't do that. Oh, sorry, guys. You know what? This is when I wish I had a guest on the show. I'm going to lose all of y'all. I'm losing people. So, Adrian Carney, Turtle Boy, said the PowerPoint presentation is going to be the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I already know it. Spanky says John got out of Karen Reed's car at 12:30 p.m. If he was in the car, then why wasn't Ryan Nagel and two other people testifying that Karen Reed was alone in the car? Why did John O'Keefe's answer a call from Karen Reed at 12:29? If they were sitting right next to each other. He did that in all caps. Hold on. Y'all, I'm dying here. Oh. Forgive me, guys. Let me get the fan on me. And that's true. And that's something I brought up in trial. I flat out said, I don't understand. If she was sitting here texting him, then he would have been right there next to her if he was still in the vehicle. Why would she even try texting him at that point? You know? So Spanky is chasing Arca for not. Spanky is chastising Arca for not filming any of their experiments. But don't you remember the Commonwealth did not hand over film of Karen Reed's car in the Canton PD Sally Park garage until after a year after John O'Keefe was unalived? Now the Commonwealth is suddenly all worried about the videos? That is so true. If we heard it right, Judd and Claude had done an experiment where his arm gets hit by a car. Did I hear that correctly? Yes, you did. Spanky confirms that in Judd and the Chuds 140 slide PowerPoint is a video presentation of the Lexus LX570 backing into a Chevy Traverse. Better be the exact same angle that Karen Reed did it Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And that's true. If you don't know the angle, you don't know the speed, you don't know the height, you don't know the distance it started and ended. If you don't have every piece of the puzzle, then you're not going to be exactly the same. Therefore, you cannot render an exact replication. Therefore, your answer or your results are not going to be accurate, which is what he's saying. Judd and Chud plans to testify that Ryan Nagel, Heather Maxon, Ricky D'Antonio didn't see John O'Keefe go inside Brian Howard's house. What does that have to do with the Merrimack? And will he be testifying that all three of them said John O'Keefe wasn't inside the house? Excuse me. And he will be testifying that all three of them said John O'Keefe wasn't inside or outside of Karen's car. Maybe Spanky could ask Judd where John could have been. Yeah, he then continues. Give me a minute, y'all. I hope that calmed down. I am so sorry I had that coughing fit. I knew that was coming. Oh, I hate being sick. There it goes. It's going to come again. I hope I'm okay now. All right. Let's continue. Aiden Carney continues to say, and Aiden, I hope you're okay with me sharing this. I think he is. Sorry. By the way, this is at least the fourth or fifth hearing in a row in which Erin O'Keefe's her mother and Gargantian sister are not in attendance. Maybe must be sick from the glazed donuts. Oh wow, Adrian Turtleboy. Okay. Let's try it again. I'm not giving up. Not going to let. This is not going to win. I will not lose this battle. I'm sorry, one sunny day. I don't think y'all want to hear me getting sick over here. Coughing up toenails and everything in between. Okay. By the way, Judd Cludd Welcher and the Commonwealth new expert that has a PowerPoint presentation says she can explain how John O'Keefe was hit by a car. I've heard this. I heard it's hilarious. In a rare move in decency, Auntie Bev is going to voir dire ARCA experts the day before their testimony so Karen Reed won't have to pay to fly them twice. Aw, isn't that sweet, Auntie Bev? Oh, that's so kind of you. They'll just have to have an additional hotel room. Just when you thought that Spanky Brennan couldn't get more ridiculous, pathetic, or desperate, has added Natalie, the German, and Karen's 3 attorneys from her first trial to the witness list. For those of you unfamiliar with Natalie, you're in for a treat. If he actually calls her, she will not shut the blank up. He won't shut the up. And you will listen to her ramble on about her friend with 5 Emmys. Who cares? Congratulations to the friends with 5 Emmys. It's not your accomplishment, it's your friend. So you don't have the right to live off of their coattails. Auntie Bev seems shocked that the Commonwealth does not plan on calling Dr. Irene Scordy Bello, the medical examiner, who Michael Proctor referred to as the whack job. Why are we not calling the medical examiners? What I need to know. Sorry, I tried to mute it before. I was surprised about that. Were y'all surprised that they're not going to call the ME? I was the defense. I'd be having the ME right front and center. Spanky is now arguing the motion that the media to be prohibited from talking about the physical characteristics of the jury. Apparently, he doesn't want us mentioning if it's another all-white jury. That's an interesting point. He did not want any description. You couldn't say male, female. There was a woman with glasses who appeared to be taking a lot of notes. Yeah, he was really adamant about that. Of course, Auntie Bev just announced that the ARCA wants to testify they have to undergo a Daubert hearing next week. Karen Reed's team seems shocked that based on their reaction. Well, it is what it is, people. Get the Daubert hearing out of the way and just move forward. Yannetti says that the United States Attorney's Office asked for his entire file, which he handed over. He has no idea what they did with it, but they wanted to see it all. Well, hello, Miss Rhonda. In one sunny day. Thank you for joining, June, Tash, and then Shell Bell. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to my honey bun. I appreciate all of y'all. We had gossip, rumor, and innuendo in here earlier. Thank you for that. Urinary. I want to call him urinary. Yeah, Nettie cited my interview with Ronnie, the juror, who told me that the juror's opinion that ARCA experts were hidden by Karen Reed's, hired by Karen Reed's car insurance company. And that was a big thing. I think they should give a, I'm trying, hon. I think that they should give an explanation on how they came into play in this case. They can say a governing agency. They don't have to say which. They can say that an agency that has no investment in this trial as far as insurance companies or whatever, but they'll figure it out. The ARCA witnesses were not made aware of the existence of DNA. Yay, probably because they're biomechanics. You think? Biomechanics? Who in the heck? Sorry. I want to share y'all this. This is
Substance of the
good.
motion and her considerations there too.
Appreciate the court accommodating us.
So,
Watch this disappointed face.
thank you.
This
Thank
was
you.
the hearing before Karen Reed's. This was with Turtle Boy. And this was priceless. I laughed my butt off on this. Here we go. It's only a minute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Your Honor, I do object. Ms. Reed's counsel and Ms. Reed do not have standing for this motion. I don't believe they should be sitting at the table for this motion. It's a Rule 17 motion of third party. She has no privacy interest in these materials. She has no standing to object, and she's not a party on the Rule 17.
Thank you, ADA Brennan. She is a party in this case, and I'll allow her to sit at counsel table and to have representation, and I'll consider whether I'll hear from her counsel concerning the substance of the motion and her
Thank you, Your Honor.
considerations there
We
too.
appreciate the court accommodating us.
Oh,
So,
that was what I call a
I'm
mic
not clear on
drop
your question, Your Honor.
moment.
how is anything beyond communications between Mr. Kearney and the defendant and the
That definitely was a bomb of a moment. Was that cinematic? That's what I want? No, where did it go? I rearranged my stuff so I don't know where all of my stuff is. There it is. That's the sound I use for kind of like a mic drop moment. So this really did set him off. Really did set him off. And I was all for it. I was all for it. And it's one of those things that he got a smackdown. Just saying. Let's keep going. Hold on. Just a reminder, the juror who wrote in after David saying he could hear the protesters outside during the juror deliberations is a former police officer who was once hit by a car on duty. No one else complained about this, and the juror didn't say anything to dispute the fact that they voted to acquit Karen Reed of Redrum. Okay, he goes on. I have never been more disappointed to watch the court appearance from afar rather than attend and argue in person. Great job by Tim Brettle defending against clear abuse of government subpoena power. Hank Brennan's new buffer zone seeks to extend 200 feet buffer on the west side of the courthouse where supporters gathered on the sidewalk abutting the church. The problem is there were people going to go towards the center of town. Do you think the small business owners will appreciate hundreds of people being herded in front of their stores because Spanky wants to suppress free speech? That's a good point. Interesting. And I caught this. Auntie Bev said the jury impanelment will begin April 1st, but the trial itself will not start before April 25th. It's almost like the same exact time as last year. Have y'all noticed? I find that interesting. Question. Oh, Alana, because the Sementilli trial is on lunch break. I know you're sick, to be honest. I understand. I get it. But we're on lunch break. I'm almost done, hun. I'm almost done. Hold on. Hold on. I'm just trying to catch people up who didn't get to watch Karen Reed. Okay? I appreciate your information and your thoughts on that. But we are trying to fill time. My apologies. Let me see let me Google something. But we're pretty much done with whatever was said in today's hearing. I know some people are very tired of it. So, yeah, the last comments that were on Twitter or X was days ago. Well, I'm on there live. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So there's not much there. So we'll go ahead and just close that out. But you're right. Everybody, the thing is that I understand you're tired about Karen Reed. I get it. But let me say, this trial is not going to be the same trial. And I'm interested to watch as more of a criminal justice major, watch to kind of think more of how is it different and really dissect the movement and legalities of the trial. That's what I hope to do with this trial. So that's why I was talking about Karen Reed. I can always talk about my boyfriend. I don't think y'all want to have me talking about him all day, although he'd like it. Right, honey bun? Right, honey bun? For those of you who know, I made it officially known to the public I have a boyfriend. Yeah, we didn't tell anybody for a little bit because, you know how things go. You know how it goes. So, I'm looking for more stuff, y'all. See if there's anything we need to know about. Hawaiians. Kailua volcano resumes eruption. So that's resuming. Looking what's on YouTube that we can watch. There's not a whole lot, y'all. So Austin is back on the stand. I've been coughing my guts out. I gotta say, it's really hard for me to hear what's going on while I've been coughing in the background. So I gotta catch up myself. I gotta catch up myself. Let me look. Let me see what's going on. See if there's anything we can throw at you. I just really would like to go lay down, but I know we can't. I know we can't because if I lay down, I'm coughing all day. I'm trying to find more information on the judge and the sheriff unaliving situation. Nobody's really, I love you too, babe. Nobody is really, how do I put it? Here's a question for you. Here's a question for you. In the trial where the sheriff shot the judge in chambers, he claims there's something about his family. He had to protect his family. Do you think that that is enough defense for him to not be charged to the full extent? I'm on the fence for this. I am. And I don't know quite what to think about that entire case. Well, I know it was about brothels and intimate favors, but the woman that there's an audio tape where a woman says that she saw the videos on the phone of the judge. Yeah, on the phone. Yeah, I will say that's true. Yeah. That said she saw the judge himself having intimate relationships in his office. But my thing is, where's that video? It will be. So that's something I'm really grappling with. You know, I understand it may be manslaughter, or temporary insanity. I know that's what he's going for. I know what he's going for. Everybody is going crazy about the Dolphins welcoming Space Crew 9 Dragon spacecraft home off the coast of Florida. I thought that was so awesome. That was so amazing. Do you know what? Why don't we watch some Judge Boyd until we get going? I love her. I hope you like her, y'all. I hope you do. We like Judge Boyd. I want to go see Judge Boyd. Let me get the volume up. Why don't we have volume? Get this one big.
Yes.
There, we're all the way up.
Oh, I'll walk you through it. Okay. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 003370W, State versus Emmanuel Chavarria. Can I have parties announced for the record? State? Defense? And are you Mr. Chavarria? Counsel, have you received all discovery? And did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Chavarria, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment? I'm sorry. Did you review the document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict? Did you understand your attorney also has certain rights? He has a right for the passage of 2 days from the presentation of the information and the right for 10 days to prepare for trial. Did you understand? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review the information with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information? State, are you proceeding on the information as presented? Did you review the stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand by information you're charged with possession of controlled substance, penalty group 2, 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses? Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him? Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Chavarria, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. It will run concurrent with 2024 PF 26140, 2025 CC 002763. They'll take in consideration 2024 PF 26139, 2025 PF 04868, 2025 CC 002764. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense? State? Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there been any such motions? Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service restitution, no contact with Donnie, Donny, Medina Flores, Dario, Dareo, Ariano, Arellano, Nevin, Nevan, Valdez, and there's to be no possession of weapons. Did you understand that? Those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence? Did you review the waivers? Oh, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing? Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No mic. Why do we not have mic? We're going to Zoom.
Court will find violation of condition number 1. Who's here on the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 5 years in
We've
prison.
already heard all that.
Where are we on?
Oh, honey boo, you shouldn't be in jail. You see that woman? We don't need to be in jail. You're too old.
All right, who's here on Constance Sinwell? Oh, come down.
We can disagree on Karen Reed. You know
Hello,
what?
how's it going?
They may present a different trial, and I may change my mind on Karen Reed. I could, and I'm willing to. And one thing about when we go into the Karen Reed trial, I will be playing devil's advocate. And oh, Elaine, thank you. You're so kind. Understand that if there's evidence that convinces me otherwise, I have no problem with it. I'm going to wipe the slate clean when trial begins. I can do that. It's hard, but I will. Thank you, love. You are very much appreciated and loved here. Thank you.
Long time no see. I mean,
Yeah,
how
their
is
mic's cut off. Let's go to another day.
No, I guess, I mean, you were there. I wasn't.
That sucks. Judge Boyd. Boyd. We'll go today's. Let's see, where do they start with the people? There we go.
Dash body camera is someone else's with a different theft or unauthorized use.
Okay.
Yes, Judge, so the reports have been tendered, but the videos are from a different case, so I'm reaching out to the rest of the agency right now to try to get that resolved and get the correct videos so that I can tender them to the states.
There's one additional potential issue.
Yes.
Everything is in Spanish, aside from the officer's narrative, every witness statement is in Spanish except for one that they typed it on the computer. In the event that the case goes to trial, I would need a second chair for a Spanish-speaking attorney, but I'm not requesting one at this time. Just want the court to be aware if this for trial, that a second
Scientists discovered, get a load of this, guys. Scientists just discovered a yellow brick road at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
So do you
Y'all.
want an attorney appointed now? Because I don't like for us to wait till the last minute to have a second chair appointed if that's what's needed because of the Spanish.
I did speak with Monica Guerrero. She's fluent in Spanish. If it goes to trial, she would sit second chair. So if the court could appoint her, she would accept it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Luis Martinez, Ms. Guerrero needs to be appointed as second chair. And then this is being recalled for April 17th. On that date, all the discovery needs to be done and state you need to be prepared to tender an order.
Yes,
I mean, an offer. Is there anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
And is your client a citizen?
He is.
Okay.
He's English, great. He does speak Spanish, but everything's been in English. So.
Okay.
I also believe the court has my birth certificate as well. When they request it.
Oh, no, I don't have your birth certificate, but somebody else may have it. And the reason why I asked that question is sometimes when we have information
Yes, honey, you are more interesting than Karen Reed. I will give you that.
that's all in a different language other than English, usually the person is not a citizen. Although one time we had it all in English and the person wasn't a citizen. They were from England. And in the middle of, everything that's happening, the attorney's like, oh, I just learned my client is not a citizen. We need a Padilla letter. All right, so we will recall you for April 17th. That's for discovery and for the state to tender an offer.
Thank you, Judge.
Is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, just have a seat. They'll bring a reset form to you. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's quiet.
We got a sentencing, but I'm gonna run down and we'll get it done this morning. I'm just bouncing all over the place today.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Mm. They should be back any minute now, y'all.
For controlled substance penalty group 2, 1 to 4 grams on July 29th,
That's not good.
2024 for a term of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
State?
Yes, the state's can proceed on violation of condition number 1 on or about the 27th day of December 2024 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Juan Eduardo Calleros committed the offense of terroristic threat in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
State?
The state will waive the remaining violation.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1? The court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. You need to say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement was to plead true to violation of condition number 1, and then we are going to go open to the court.
All right. Any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, except for Mr. Calleros.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Juan Eduardo Calleros.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Not Mr. Calleros, not Calleros. Not Calleros.
Yeah.
You just pled true to the offense of terroristic threat, right? Yes.
Oh, yes.
That occurred back in December of 24.
Yes, sir.
And who was the alleged victim in that?
My child's mother's, which is Haley Gomez.
Your child's mother is Haley.
Yes.
And her mom is
Come on, Miss Sementilli. Y'all get back into court.
Gomez.
okay.
So I'm sorry, who is the complainant in the terroristic threat?
Tiffany Gomez, his child's mom's.
The grandmother of your child?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, thank
It
you.
would pretty better. But while you're on probation, how are your UAs been coming out?
I've been clean,
Except,
is it June?
it's the month, August.
August, yeah, but that's when I first started, man. So they told me I was gonna come out dirty because I did used to smoke a lot. But ever since I've been coming out clean.
Have you completed any classes? as part of
Yes,
your
parenting class.
Okay, do you have a certificate?
Yes.
But we do have a certificate for the courts.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
And once you made a bond on this motion to be voted, and the underlying misdemeanors that you had picked up, the reason for this motion, have you been on GPS?
Yes, I'm on it right now.
You on it right now? Have you had any issues since you made the bond?
No, no, sir.
Okay, you've been on full house arrest. You haven't even been able to go to work or anything. And you've been relying on.
Well, my savings and income tax.
Okay, so the income tax.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're accepting responsibility for something that occurred back on December 27th, 2024, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, I'm looking at a probation report that.
I'm sorry for the audio. It's them. It's in and out. Nothing I can do about it.
Probation is asking to add a hostility management class.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. And then intensive outpatient treatment, which the probation, which was recommended back in January. of
Yes, and I
2025.
accepted it, but I was supposed to start the 25th, but she said to wait on it. I don't know why, but she just told me to wait on it.
Right. And then they're also recommending having no contact with Tiffany
Okay.
and Haley.
Hey, well, I can have contact either way because my CPS case is not over. So I'm going to like therapy and stuff for it until they clear me. That's when I could go back.
Okay, you're entering this Child Protective Services also?
Yes.
Okay, and then last night you emailed or texted me a copy of the report from CPS, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Judge, he texted this report to me at 1:30. I printed it out and I left it on the counter.
That's okay.
So I don't have anything for you to read unless you want to look it up on my phone. And it's just progress notes that he has seen a therapist, he has seen it twice. And they're just now beginning a treatment plan for him for anxiety and various mental health conditions. I can print that out if you like, but
No,
I had a copy.
any objection to the court reading from counsel's phone?
No.
I printed it out and left it on the counter, Judge.
It happens.
That I don't hear from her often. Usually she's on them. She must be in a good mood today. Although I find her to be a very fair judge. Conservative in her upbringing, but a fair judge.
Thank you.
I can print that, Judge.
No.
What are you asking the judge for today?
To keep me on probation?
Continue on deferred adjudication?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where's
dude,
the-
you're
where's the
continuing on to
deferred
probation.
Because, well, I have a permanent residence. I don't want to lose. And it's not on a citizenship.
You're a permanent resident alien?
Uh-oh, she's got the look, y'all.
And have you talked to an immigration lawyer like yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And they urged you to attempt to keep that deferred in place?
Yes, sir.
And that if you were either convicted of this charge or the terroristic threat charge, it would affect your ability to stay in the country?
Yes, sir.
You understood that?
Yes.
And that was a lawyer out of Dallas?
Yes. But they told me if I get a probation, it has to be less than 80. So,
On probation on the terroristic threat?
yes.
Judge, I have no more questions.
Any further questions?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. Hi, Mr. Harris. So,
Excuse me, just 1 second. On the back row, we're on the record. If you all want to speak, you'll need to ask the deputy to move your client to the other end. All right, you may proceed.
back in July of 2024, you were placed on deferred adjudication probation. For the
I appreciate how she keeps her courtroom very organized and quiet compared to other judges we've watched.
Okay, and you understood that for deferred adjudication, if you were to mess up, you would be subject to the full range of punishment at that time. And you understand that messing up is committing any law. And here you had two new offenses, is that correct? And we're proceeding on one, the terroristic threat. That terroristic threat, the basis of that was a firearm. Is that correct?
I mean, that's what they said, but there was no. It just, since, well, my girlfriend's mom, she knows that I like my cases. So like, she don't really like me, so like, she'll try to do anything she can to put me in jail.
Okay, does she not like you because her daughter shows up with bruises?
Well, that was the first time we ever got in a fight, but like, she just don't like me in general. I don't know why.
Okay, so it's Haley's fault or Tiffany's fault?
Well, I'm not saying it's their fault, because, I mean, I did hit her, so it's just, even like before that, she didn't like me, so like, there's just another reason for her to like not like me. So, yeah.
Do you think a reason for her not liking you could be that you have firearms in the home with her daughter and her daughter shows up with bruises?
That's just, she don't even know if I had like guns in the house, just because she knows of my previous charges, she's assuming that I have it. And since that happened, like, she tried to like put that in there.
Well, you're aware that the police report says that she saw you with the firearm, is
Yeah,
that
but
correct?
I mean, I came out shirtless, shorts. I don't think I had a firearm on my shorts.
Any further questions, Your Honor?
All right, anything else?
I have no follow-up questions, Judge.
Any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No, you don't.
Not from the state.
Do you have a copy?
Yes. They sent it by email, but I just don't review them until both parties say they have no objection since it's hearsay.
Sorry,
That's all I'm
guys.
doing is apologizing. But I apologize. Mr. Austin, you still under oath. Mr. Levine, you may continue.
I think we're playing the law.
Very good. I was happy.
Hello, Sticky Widget. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
Repeat what you say to make sure I'm understanding. Because sometimes things don't sink in that quickly in my brain either, and so I might repeat things. And you were
Some of you I haven't seen in a while. Welcome back. Thanks for joining. Hello.
And what's your father's name?
William C. Austin.
And what's his date of birth? You know? What is approximate age?
He's about 65, 66 now. He's 67 this year.
Okay. Okay. And it's my understanding that you met Robert Baker through your father.
Yes.
And do you recall when that was?
It's my understanding that he's known me since I was a child.
Okay.
You know, he came around periodically here every other few years or so.
Did he used to live in North Carolina in Fayetteville?
Yeah, but the story that I was told, he left shortly after high school and never returned that much.
Okay.
He would only come back to visit family.
His family.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hopping in here, Sticky Widget.
Other than the fact that your father is your friend. Okay.
Well, lurk in the background. We love having you.
Introduced you to Robert Baker as a childhood friend?
Yes.
Do you recall what age you were when you first met Robert Baker?
Maybe middle school.
Okay. So preteen?
Preteen, yes.
Okay. And did your father and Robert Baker grow up basically in the same location in Fayetteville?
Yes.
Okay. Did they go to school together according to what your father and Robert Baker have told you?
Yes.
Okay. And have you had any conversations with your father since your arrest?
No. Well, yes. Only when my sister's around. He had a stroke recently, so our conversations aren't what they used to be.
Right. But let me ask a few questions about that. Is your family aware at this point in time that you were involved in a murder with Robert Baker?
I'm sure they do now.
Well, I don't want to know what you're sure of. I want to know if you had any conversations with anybody in your family.
No.
You have not had direct conversation about
Thank you for liking, Alana.
this January 23rd,
Sticky Widget.
2017 murder with anybody in your family.
I never told.
I introduced you, Gerald, my boyfriend.
Did you ever have conversation, and that's, I'm sorry, that's true even after you've been arrested, like in other words, through jail calls? You haven't had any phone calls to your family where you discussed your involvement in this murder?
No. I was told somebody looked it up.
Who told you that?
My wife told me that.
Chloe?
Wait. Yeah, they looked it up and said this is a big case.
Okay. Does your wife, Chloe, have conversations with your family back in Fayetteville?
See, only when they talk to me on the phone right now.
But
What do you?
since you've been in custody, has Chloe been talking to your family about this case?
I don't know.
Has she not said anything to you about, I've told your parents and your family's aware that you're in custody down in California?
Oh, yes. It's that, yes. When I talk to her, they text and say, I talked to Chris.
Okay.
He's doing okay.
So she's in communication with them?
my dad to the situation.
What about your mom? She's still around?
Yes.
And what about your mother? Has Chloe been in contact, or have you been in contact with your mom?
I haven't contacted my mom, but I think my siblings have.
Have any of them come to visit you here in LA? What about Chloe? No?
No. Sorry.
I didn't get your question. Has anybody come to visit you in Los Angeles since you've been in custody?
No, ma'am.
What about Chloe?
No, ma'am.
Are you in contact, regular contact with Chloe?
When I'm allowed to use the phone.
In terms of your involvement in this case, has your family been made aware that your involvement was through Robert Baker, your dad's childhood friend?
Yes, I believe so.
What do you mean by I believe so?
I can't really confirm and say like, oh, no one's told me that, oh, I told everybody. But I believe my mom knew based on ID channel.
Okay, tell me about that.
She watches it a lot.
Mm-hmm. What is the ID channel?
I don't really watch it too much.
Okay.
I think that's whatever the major case that was presented on TV, she saw it. And she knew Baker because of my dad.
So your mom has seen a show about this murder.
That's what she told me.
Before you were in custody?
Yes.
So your mom saw a show about the murder on TV, whether it's on ID channel or something else, and that she knew Baker was involved.
Yes.
Did she ever make any comment that she thought you were involved?
She said, I hope you're not.
And when she said, I hope you're not, what do you think she said that to you for?
Because she knew I lived with him for a short time.
And what did you tell her about your involvement?
I told her I don't know.
What do you mean, I don't know?
I told her I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So basically deny any involvement?
Yes.
You lied to mom?
I did.
What's your mom's name?
Calvetta.
Are your parents still together?
No.
Does your mom live in North Carolina?
South Carolina.
Is she remarried?
No.
When was the last time you spoke with her?
Right after the hurricane. I was going to fly down and help her clear out some trees and stuff.
So what month would that have been?
September. About September.
This year?
Yes.
And your dad is still in Bideville?
Yes.
Is your dad remarried?
No.
Who takes care of him?
My sister and a caregiver that comes, to my understanding, 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week.
What's your sister's name?
Derry.
Can you spell that?
D-A-R-I.
Derry. Is she married?
She is.
And does she live with your dad?
No.
Does she have kids?
Yes.
Did she ever ask you, or have you talked to her at all about this crime?
No.
Is there anybody in your family or friends that can verify what you're going to tell us today?
No.
Is there any evidence, independent evidence, such as a cell phone, cloud, you know, an iCloud or a cloud backup is that yes?
Yes.
Is there anything outside of your family or friends who can verify what you're telling us today?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So you have spoken to no one about this crime?
I have spoken to no one about it.
And why is that? It can be a very simple answer.
Hey, Sherry.
You can answer however you
Welcome.
want. I just don't want to put words in your mouth.
Okay, let's get a little bit sticky widget. This is Mr. Austin. He is the co-conspirator. Mr. Baker is the one who actually did the unaliving of Fabio. He helped this gentleman, Austin, helped him do it. He did do a stab wound to the leg, I think, or lower torso, but Baker did all of the upper neck stuff. Let me look at your comments. The guy on the stand is on the audio, the male answering the question. Yeah. So he's listening to audio recordings of himself and that's what that is. Siri, thank you so much for hopping in. We greatly appreciate you. Don't forget to like with the thumbs up and then put ILIKED to be entered into this month's drawing. Hello, love. Here we go.
I'm ashamed.
Because you're ashamed of your role.
Yes.
Thank you, babe.
Has there ever, in your 38 years on this planet, has there ever been a time where you have been involved in a crime, anything similar to this? We're talking murder.
No.
Is there any time that you've been involved in any crime of violence?
No.
Why do you think, in this case, or tell us why you believe
Excuse me.
you became involved in a crime like this?
How do you? I really want to say no. Don't.
I know. I want to, and you can answer it again in any way that you see fit. I want to know what it was, given what I know about you, why you were involved in this crime. What led you to be involved in this particular crime?
He told me he needed me.
Who?
Baker.
To do what?
He said I needed you to help me do this.
To do what?
I needed you to help me take out.
And what word, what name or word, or how did he refer to the husband? Did he call him by his name? Did he refer to Monica as her husband? How did he refer to you when, because this would be something huge for you, right? Because you don't do these kinds of things. When he talked to you and said that he needed you to help him take somebody out, how did he refer to that victim?
I don't know why. I don't. His normal language is motherfucker.
Motherfucker. And did he
Yes.
And when did this conversation occur where Baker said he needed you to help him take out this motherfucker, Monica's husband?
I think when I got back to LA
When you got back to LA
in January.
after the murder?
No.
Oh, before you were, when you got back to LA, so you think that this happened after you arrived in Los Angeles?
Yeah, like when I landed in California. 2012.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
I don't want to lie, so I'm trying to remember, so please forgive me.
You understood, and we're gonna go back and forth, and things might clarify in terms of time sequences when we start going through various events. But I wanna, ask you, you moved to Alaska what year? Was it around 2016?
2008.
2008?
2008, 2009?
You moved to Alaska in 2008 to 2009.
No, between.
Okay. And when you moved to Alaska, were you still working for Baker?
Not really.
What does that mean?
Just not at all, honestly.
Not at all.
Not at all. I moved, there was a situation between him and his spouse, and I was like, maybe I need to leave. And I went up to Alaska.
Where did you move from?
LA.
And where were you living in LA in 2008 before you moved to Alaska?
I'm sorry, what?
Where were you living in Los Angeles when you moved to Alaska?
What area?
Yeah. Were you living in the city? Were you living in the San Fernando Valley? Were you living in Santa Clarita? Were you living in San Diego? Where were you living?
All I know is the valley.
The San Fernando Valley? Do you remember the street you were living on?
Catherine and Winnetka.
Winnetka. Okay. And Catherine? In an apartment?
Catherine was a house.
And who were you living in the house with?
Baker.
And his wife?
Yes.
Who was his wife at that time?
Her name was Nikki.
I'm sorry?
Nikki.
Nikki. Do you know her by any other name?
She was a dancer called Amber, I think at one point, but that was none of my business, so I didn't really.
I don't really, in this interview, I don't really want to hear about what's your business and what's not your business.
Okay.
I'm asking you questions and I want the answer to the questions. I understand none of this is really your business.
Okay.
So we can use that as a broad umbrella. That doesn't mean that you know things or don't know things. So you knew her also as Amber and that she was a dancer.
Yes.
Where was she a dancer?
I don't know. Multiple
Strip club.
At clubs.
Yes.
How did you know she was a dancer at various clubs? Did you go to these clubs?
No.
Yep.
She told you. And she was Baker's wife.
Yes.
So you, Nikki, and Baker were all living together in a house on Catherine in Winnetka.
Hey, Daryl, listen.
I think Catherine's in Winnetka.
Howdy, soldier.
That's for you.
Okay, but that's where you remember the house being on Catherine. Is that right?
There was a house on Catherine Street, and then we moved from there to Winnetka.
Oh, okay. So you moved from Catherine to Winnetka.
Yes.
And where did you move to in Winnetka?
I don't remember that address.
Do you remember the street or what it was near?
No.
You don't remember anything about what it was close to?
I remember what the house looked like,
Okay.
but I don't remember where it was at. I know there's a grocery store down the street from it.
What grocery?
Bill. I'm sorry. It's just a
Okay.
I don't want to get anything. I don't know.
You can sign away.
I don't really remember the name of the grocery
Okay.
store.
If you remember during the course of the interview, anything that I ask you and you say, oh,
It's a call to you're down, not too far.
okay. If you remember things when I ask you questions, later on, even though we moved on to something else, feel free to interrupt me and say, I remember, by the way, X, Y, and Z. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. And so the three of you moved from Catherine to another location in Winnetka, in the valley.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the situation that occurred between Baker and his wife that caused you to move out of LA or the San Fernando Valley to Alaska?
My brother called and said he needed help bringing my nephews.
And where was he?
Alaska.
So your brother was already living in Alaska.
Yes.
Where is that in Alaska that he was living?
Anchorage.
With his son?
All three boys and his mother and his children at the time.
With his sons and wife?
Girlfriend.
Okay. Who were living in Anchorage. And so you left and moved up there to live with your brother and his girlfriend and the kids?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And when you left, did you maintain contact with Baker?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you maintain contact?
Phone call, text messages.
Okay. And how often would you say you were in contact with Baker once you moved up to Anchorage? Was it daily, weekly?
In the beginning, it was probably weekly, every 2 weeks.
Okay. And before you moved to Alaska, you were working for Baker.
Yes.
How many years did you work for Baker?
About 3.
So what years were those?
06 to about 08. I'm counting, from the time I got there.
Did you initially
Shortly
live?
after 05.
Did you initially live with him in Vegas?
Yes.
Where?
There was a Walmart close by.
What area of Vegas? The city, suburbs,
North Las Vegas.
North Las Vegas? While you were in North Las Vegas, did Baker introduce you to some friends,
A lot of friends.
such as?
A lot of people respect me. A lot of people.
Is that when you first met Albert and Tom?
No.
You knew Al before that. So when did you first meet Al? If it wasn't when you were living in Vegas.
A year and a half after we left Vegas.
When you were living in the San Fernando Valley?
Yes.
Is that when Al came down to Los Angeles?
Yes.
Did Al come down alone or did he come down with someone else?
He came along.
Okay, let me clarify, Sticky Widget. Anything up in Canada or Alaska, or in those up in Alaska, or he was really good at, he didn't live here in LA. He had no idea where anything was in LA. No clue what the street names were. He was totally oblivious to what some of the places were. What pertaining to this case, he could tell you he ate the mall shape. This is what was there, and it was close to the home. So that's why He wasn't living in LA when this happened. He was flown in to help. That may be a little help to you.
If I remember correctly.
Okay. And how do you refer to Al?
I call him Unc.
Unc?
Mhm.
Is that like uncle?
UNC.
Uh-huh.
Just abbreviate.
And is that, why do you call him Unc?
So they're
Because you have
reading
that
his
close of a relationship with
interview.
him?
and
We
listening.
built that over the years.
Okay. And you referred to Baker also as Unc, right?
Yes. It's a southern endearment of like, you told me to trust you, so I trust you.
And you're still in touch with Al, correct?
Every now and again.
Have you been in touch with him since you were taken into custody?
No, ma'am.
When was the last time you had any contact with Albert Song?
I want to say sometime in September.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your Uncle Rob ever introduce you to a guy by the name of Ron Ray or his wife, Michelle?
He sounds familiar.
Picture. Did you work with Baker when you were in Las Vegas?
When I lived there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was his driver.
And what was Baker into then that you were driving him?
Multiple meetings with adult, up and coming adult film stars.
Adult film stars?
Yes.
Okay. So in the adult film business or industry?
Yes.
And was Baker married in Vegas?
How do you?
Was Baker also married while you were living in Vegas?
To my knowledge, yes.
Were you living with him?
Yes.
And was he living with a wife?
Yes.
And who was that?
Nikki.
And Nikki. Just the three of you?
Yes.
Okay. And the phone number that you have used to reach Baker all these many years, I'm going to give you a phone number and you tell me if it sounds familiar. 213.
That sounds familiar.
Is that the phone number that you use regularly to communicate with Baker, even when you were in the San Fernando Valley living together? And you have no prior convictions for anything, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Ever been arrested?
No. Oh, what is your definition of arrest?
The police take you into custody.
No, not until recently.
This case.
Yes.
And on this case, you were arrested, I think it was October 2nd of this year. Is that right? About 9:30 in the morning?
Yes, ma'am.
In Vancouver, Washington?
Yes, ma'am.
And you spoke with both of the two investigating officers here, Detective Byers and Detective Burrell, on that date of October 2nd of 2024, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also spoke with my partner here, Detective DA Heather Stable.
Yes, DA Heather.
Yes.
I remember.
And you also spoke with your cellmate, Willie Boyd, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at any time during the arrest or your time up in Vancouver, Washington, did anybody make any threats to you?
No, ma'am.
Did anybody make any promises to you?
No, ma'am.
Did anybody coerce you?
No, ma'am.
And then you were extradited to Los Angeles in October?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the date?
17.
The 17th?
Yes.
And you waived extradition, right?
Yes.
That means you didn't even need to be brought to court. You basically said, I'm ready, bring me to Los Angeles.
That's how I understood.
And when were you married?
November 21, 2020.
And she's living with Chloe right now up in Vancouver, Washington?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you, prior to January of 2017, can you describe the relationship you had with Robert Baker? Close friends, like family,
Still considered like family.
like family.
You know,
Trusted him?
trusted him.
Trusted that he would look out for your well-being and best interest?
Yes.
Did you ever introduce him to Chloe?
No.
How old were you when you first started working for Robert Baker?
19.
So you were a kid,
Fresh out of high school.
fresh out of high school. And how many years did you work for him?
The whole time I lived with him.
How many years?
So from about 2005 to about 2008 when I left.
So about 3 years.
Yeah.
And what was your title besides driving? Did you have a title?
He would always say he's my personal assistant.
Okay. And what was Baker's job during this period of time when you were working with him from 2005 to 2008?
He managed models, is what I was told.
Models?
Adult film stars. Or aspiring adult film stars.
Okay.
Male and female.
And how were you paid?
Cash mostly, or
By Baker?
yes.
And that was both while you were in Las Vegas living with him and also when you were in the San Fernando Valley in the Los Angeles area, is that right?
Yes.
Was there ever anybody else that you lived with either in Las Vegas or in the San Fernando Valley besides Baker and his wife Nikki?
I lived by myself in an apartment. He was renting briefly.
Where?
In the same.
Same, meaning Vegas or LA?
In LA.
Okay.
But I was only there for a little while.
Where?
Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oaks. Again, in the San Fernando Valley?
Yes.
How long did you live alone?
About 3 months.
Was that before you moved in with Baker and Nikki in the valley or after?
No, I was with them the whole time.
Oh, they lived there too? I thought you said you lived alone.
When I got to LA, I had found out that he owned the house in Vegas. The house in Vegas he owned. And the apartment.
The apartment in Chicago.
So that's when he said, yeah, I got this. I was excited about, oh, you can own it. I didn't think people could own 2 properties at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when they said, look, you got a bigger spot, They left, and I stayed there until the lease was up
They left where?
to the house, county
So they left the Sherman Oaks apartment for a period of time, and you lived there alone for a while until you moved in with them on campus?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. When, at any point in time during, from when you first met Baker as a kid until January 2017, were you ever aware that he had, a criminal history?
Not really, no.
What does not really mean?
He told me that I didn't find out he had a probation officer until like 2007, the end of 2007.
And how did you find out about that?
He said, I gotta go see somebody. And I didn't know he was coming. He said, I gotta check in. I check in. Yeah, I got a probation officer. I got a case some years ago.
Can you tell me what the case is about?
Sexual assault.
Did you ever ask your dad about that?
No.
Did your dad ever tell you about Baker's prior sexual assault?
No.
Did Baker ever tell you that he had to register as a sex offender?
I will say it's easier to listen to this recording than it was the 4.5 days of heavy breathing, whispering on jail calls. Give it that. As they say, true dat.
You think that?
I think he told me.
Okay, and did you know why he was registered as a sex offender?
I assume because of sexual assault. I don't really dive into details.
Okay, I don't want to know what you assumed. Did he ever tell you that he was a sex registrant or that he had to register every time he moved?
He didn't tell me that every time he moved. He just told me he had to register.
Were you familiar with any of the other Baker's wives other than Nikki?
No.
Did you ever talk to your dad about Baker and his priors?
No.
Did Baker ever tell you that he went to state prison? That he had served time in state prison?
Yes.
And was that when you were living in Las Vegas that you found out about all this, or when you were in the San Fernando Valley?
The San Fernando Valley.
So that was after you had worked for Baker for a number of years?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the rest.
Of course. It is 11:40. Okay, we're back on the record. It's 11:47. Did you get an opportunity to use the restroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Let's see, where were we? Oh, we left off talking a little bit about Baker. Did you also live with Al Birdsong at some point?
He moved in at the cabin, so yes.
Who moved in?
Mr. Birdsong.
Al moved in with who?
Baker.
Where?
At the cabin house. That's how I was.
Oh, in the San Fernando Valley?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was with you when you were there and Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. How long was Al living there?
Maybe half a year, almost a year.
6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months.
And then did he go back to Vegas?
I think he bought a house in Vegas.
Did you ever go to that house in Vegas?
Yes.
And you stayed at that house in Vegas?
We were definition of stay, like spent the night.
Overnight?
Yes.
Was that the house on Timberline Avenue or does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Did you know what Al did for work?
Not really. I knew it was in like some type of government or security of some high
Did you ever mention, or did Baker ever mention to you that he worked for Homeland Security?
Yes.
And was there any conversation ever with Albert Song about burner phones? You know what a burner phone is, right?
Yes.
What's a burner phone?
A phone that, to my understanding, the phone is not really tracked.
Like a secret phone?
Yes.
Where it's like you pay as you go and it's not necessarily registered?
Yes.
When you stayed with Al in Timberline, did you live with him ever for a period of time or just stayed overnight?
No, stayed overnight.
Was that with Baker?
Yes.
How many times would you say you stayed on Timberline with Al, with Baker?
Probably anytime I went to Vegas.
Approximately a dozen times, half dozen, more?
A handful.
What does that mean?
Like 4 times maybe.
And do you have any conversations about burner phones ever with Al?
He talked to me about them.
What did he tell you?
He said exactly what the definition is, that they're untraceable. And
When did that come up?
sporadically.
What was the context? Did it have anything to do with this murder?
No. His job.
And did you and Al,
That I remember his job.
did you and Al and Baker ever talk about burner phones all together?
Yes.
And what was the context of that?
How they're used. Who uses them.
What did you say about that? Baker.
In the context of that I can remember. People use them all the time. But they can't either get like a cell phone registered with a bad credit, or they're coming out of jail, or like they just need a phone for the moment. Context like that.
Did you and Baker and Al ever talk about the fact that burner phones can be used if you're going to set up?
Sticky Widget, we have all said this whole trial. He is the most polite, remorseful, regretful. If I was ever on a parole board, that's who I would release on parole. I mean, shameful. I mean, he ain't your typical criminal, I'll tell you that much.
Crime or conspiracy?
Yes.
When did that conversation happen?
I don't remember. Meaning like it would take me a while to go all the way back and try to figure that out.
Was it near time to when you committed this crime?
Yes.
Did that conversation happen at Al's, over the phone, at Baker's? Where did this conversation occur?
Over the phone, I believe.
So it was a three-way call?
I think so.
What does that mean? Did you have multiple three-way calls between you, Baker, and Al?
Yes.
Approximately how many three-way calls between you, Baker, and Al do you think you had?
I don't know why you bet.
More than one?
More than
More than two?
about 3, maybe.
Could it be more than three?
Possibly.
Could it have been as many as half a dozen or more?
Possibly, yes.
And did any of the three-way calls between you, Baker, and Al relate specifically to this job of We can leave the room too if you want.
Sure, may I have one moment?
Yep. Sarah? Or do you want to move them because it's recording?
Yeah.
We're gonna have you guys move to another room so that nothing's being recorded in your conversation. Completely confidential. It's 11:54, and Mr. Austin and his lawyer are leaving the room. It is 11:57, we're back on the record. I just had a very brief conversation with your lawyer. I know that the position that you're in here today isn't good, right? Like, we understand, how difficult it is to be in your position. However, you know why you're here. You have said on multiple occasions, from what I've read through, that you're ashamed of what happened in your participation in it. And I understand that, like I said, that you're in a very difficult position, but
I agree, Sticky
how
Widget.
overcoming you are is appreciated and will be something that obviously is going to be taken into account with respect to any potential disposition that we offer you through your counsel.
And I have advised him that it is in his best interest to be as forthcoming and as truthful as possible, and to answer all your questions to the best of his ability.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. And I believe, I think we all believe you're doing exactly that. If it gets to a point where I don't, I have a lot of work, we all do, and, you know, I've walked out of proper sessions on many occasions. But I'm so appreciative of the way that you are handling yourself today. No, there's nothing to forgive, there's no apology needed. I just want to put that on the record. I also want to put on the record, since we're getting into now other individuals besides Fabio Sementilli and Robert Baker, that if any disposition is offered to you, it will be, assuming a disposition is offered, it will be contingent upon you testifying at any and all court proceedings, whether it's trial, motions, on as many individuals as are involved in the conspiracy that we're able to verify and put together. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
It also means that there may be follow-up to this interview today. In other words, we might need another day. If you get to the point where you're exhausted, we'll pick up another day. I hope not, because I'd like to get as much done as possible, because I know how difficult it is for you to have to be worried about it overnight and then transported back and forth and all of that.
It's okay.
So, and this is not about causing suffering. What I'm trying to tell you is there may be follow-up, and there may be questions that the detectives or I or Heather have, and some of those might come through your lawyer. Like, we might call your lawyer and say, Mr. Vaughn, you asked your client X, Y, and Z. Or we might need to sit down again and have you brought out. I'm just letting you know that those are all options, and if there is ever a time where you believe that, because obviously when you start digging away at something, sometimes memories come up that you might not initially have remembered, and if that happens, you're to contact your lawyer, and we will absolutely set up another interview for you at your convenience and your lawyer's court. Okay, so back to what we were discussing just before we took a short break. You can talk to your lawyer. There were apparently three-way calls that took place regarding burner phones used to set up crimes, such as conspiracies between you, Baker, and Alberto.
Yes.
And when in time did those occur prior to the murder, knowing that the murder occurred on January 23rd of 2017? This is the date of the murder. I'm putting it on sticky, it says 12317 to give you a frame of reference.
Maybe 4 or 5 months.
So, in terms of these conversations that took place 4 to 5 months prior to January 23rd of 2017, tell us the nature of those three-way calls that took place regarding burner phones used to set up crimes or conspiracies. What was discussed?
The conferences. The best way to do it.
Best way to do what?
To call upon, to the victim, to call upon to the victim.
In this case, Monica's husband. And how was Monica's husband referred to in the conversations that you had in these three-way calls between you and Robert Baker and Albert Song?
Dude, mother, I don't even know his name.
Dude, motherfucker.
They didn't really tell me his name.
Well, at some point you knew who it was, though. Did they say Monica's husband? Did they use Fabio Sementilli? Did they use?
That is her husband.
And was Monica involved in any of these conversations?
I never spoke to her. No.
Was there anybody else involved in these conversations 4 to 5 months before the murder involving how to do it, causing harm to Monica's husband, besides you, Robert Baker, and Albert Song?
I don't remember other than us.
Three?
Other than us, I think.
You think?
Like, who else? Like, grassroots, who else?
Was on these calls?
I honestly don't remember. I'm not trying to lie to you.
Might there have been other people on these calls when you guys were having these conversations 4 to 5 months before the murder?
Possibly. I did.
I'm sorry, you did what?
I did a lot of tuning out.
Yeah. Were these like scheduled calls? You know what I mean? Or were you talking to Rob and then he's like, hang on, let me.
Yes.
Or did you have it like we're all gonna get on the call?
He said,
Hello, Ms. Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you.
I'm going to give you a call. He told me, like, how, and again, I'm trying to remember, so please forgive me. He was like, call me and say, hey, I'm going to give you a call. Yeah.
Like, stand by, I'm gonna get other people on the phone kind of thing?
Yeah, and they would talk about it.
Did you know?
I remember hearing about, like, could you shoot?
Talk about shooting.
Yeah.
So you knew 4 to 5 months minimum before this whole thing went down that we're talking about murder.
Yes.
And what was the conversation about shooting him, meaning Monica's husband?
Just go and just shoot me and be done.
And why was that ruled out, or was it?
I think it was ruled out because it's my understanding that that would be too loud. That's what I heard.
From who?
I think Birdsong or Baker.
Which one? Or both?
Over the conversation, it would be too loud.
Do you know somebody by the name of Lashane Holmes?
No.
You don't know him?
Lashane?
Lashane Holmes, who lives in Los Angeles.
I would have to see a picture. That name doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, we'll show you a picture. Have you ever heard the name? Does the name ring a bell? Lushane Homes. Mhm. Have you ever heard that name?
Shane sounds familiar, but not Lushane.
Okay, Shane what?
Shane,
No last name?
no last name.
Okay. I'm gonna put an exhibit tag on this, and I'm gonna mark it exhibit 1, it's base stamp 211006. This individual here. You ever met that guy?
No, that's my name.
So I'm looking at some phone records, and it shows on the date of January 2nd of 2017. So this would be about 21 days before the murder, at 7:04 at night. You had a phone number 907-306, right?
Yeah.
40. Yeah, say it again. Correct?
Yes.
And that was your regular phone that you still had at the time that you were arrested in this case, correct?
Yes.
That is not the burner phone that we're going to talk about, right?
No.
Okay. I have down that you made a call to Al Birdsong at 7:04 at night on January 2nd, and the phone number you used to call Birdsong.
That's the Vegas area code.
Later, you called Baker at 213. Not his burner, but his regular phone. On January 11th, you called Baker at 12:30 in the morning, and less than an hour later, Baker called Lachey Holmes, and then later that day, you called Baker, and then you text Baker, and then Baker texts you. So it sounds like there's a lot of communications that go on January 11th. Again, this would be at least 10 days before the murder. And these are conversations between you and Baker, and then in the middle, Baker contacting this individual, Lachey Holmes.
Okay.
You ever hear Baker talk about a guy by the name of Holmes, Lachey, Shane, who lives near LAX?
Yeah.
Okay, what did Baker say about Lachey Holmes?
I'm trying to think.
Southern line, you'll keep it going in the back of your brain. We'll come back.
Because I don't want to get stuck.
Understood. The following day, after this set of calls between you and Baker to Lachey, Baker put $380. He moved it from one account to another, and you then removed the money from his account up in Anchorage, Alaska. Is that yes?
Yes. I remember.
How did you get access to Baker's account? Did he send you an access card? How were you able to do that?
In the card.
Do you even have that card?
No.
What did you do with it?
Yeah, that is.
Was it an ATM card?
Yes.
And when he sent you that money,
I just sent it back.
okay,
I don't have it.
when he transferred money to a particular account, did he did he contact you in some manner, whether it's by phone, text, or homing pigeon, that was a joke, that, there was money for you to withdraw from his account?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did he contact you to tell you that he was sending you money?
He called.
And then how did he send you the ATM card?
In the mail.
And then you took that ATM card and you went to, what I believe is in Anchorage, Alaska, a credit union 1, right?
Yes.
And from the credit union 1, you withdrew the money that they would send you. Is that right?
Yes.
What did you withdraw that money for?
A plane ticket.
To where?
Los Angeles.
For what?
Cause harm to the victim.
When you say cause harm, if we're talking about a shooting, we're not talking about causing harm, correct? Did you know, and did Baker say to you, that this money is being sent for you to come out to help him kill Monica's husband?
Yes.
And again, how did he refer to Monica's husband?
Motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Monica's husband.
Okay. Prior to that, I'm sorry?
Her husband.
Her husband. Prior to that time, you had met Monica.
Yes.
Tell me the first time you met Monica.
I think we were in the gym.
At LA Fitness in the Valley?
Yeah, he always wanted to take me to the gym when I came to visit and hang out.
Okay. And that's in the Canoga Park area? Okay. And when you went to the LA Fitness in Canoga Park, did you know that Rob was the racquetball coordinator there?
Yes, no,
Okay.
like, I knew he was like working. I didn't know like his actual title. He told me, because he kind of came and went as he pleased.
Yeah. But you knew he had some kind of connection to that gym?
Yes.
How many times have you been to that LA Fitness with Rob?
A few.
What does that mean?
Like, when I live with him, when I come to visit, he just takes, I was like, can we go to the gym?
That's always been a gym.
No, sometimes we went somewhere further, but I would fall asleep. This is prior to we found out I had sleep apnea. So sometimes we went different gyms, but that's the main gym.
Okay. How many times would you say you have been to the LA Fitness on Canoga Park?
10 times, maybe?
Some of the times when you would come in from Anchorage and other times when you were still living here?
Yes.
Okay. And when you would go to the gym with him, he would introduce you to people?
Yes.
And when you said you met Monica prior to the murder for the first time at LA Fitness, what month was that? Or year? Was that in?
16.
Okay. Do you remember what month?
I do not.
How many months prior to the murder? Again, the murder being January 23rd, so the first month of.
So maybe September, October, September.
Of 2016?
Yeah.
You were after the phone call? You didn't read the three-way call 4 or 5 minutes before? Have you met her yet?
I don't think so.
So at some point in September, October of 2016, you went to LA Fitness with Rob and you met Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And did you play racquetball with her?
Yeah.
How many times?
Maybe 2 or 3 games.
On the same day or on different days?
I want to say they were all on the same day when I met her.
And you met some of his other friends in the racquetball group that time too, right?
Yes.
And did that include Paula? Remember Paula? going to show you what I'm marking as Exhibit 2, and it's a photograph, Paula McCullen. Do you recognize her?
Yeah, she looks familiar. Yeah, she looks familiar.
So those have been people that you met at the gym at LA Fit and then went to dinner with Rob?
Yes. It could be.
Showing you Exhibit 3, Mother. This is her husband, Sean McCollum. Do you recognize him?
I do.
Okay. You remember going to dinner with him?
Yeah. It wasn't too far from the gym.
Where'd you go?
I don't remember the name of the restaurant.
Remember what kind of food?
Bar food, kind of like Applebee's stuff.
So we talked about how on November 11th January 11th of 2017, there were numerous communications between you and Baker, and then you and Birdsong, and then you removed money from an ATM card from Baker's account up in Anchorage. And then on that same day, on January 12th, there are multiple communications between Baker and Monica throughout the time that he's calling you. For instance, just to give you an idea, on January 12th, 2017, from 12:31 to 1:25, Baker and Monica are communicating. They're using an encrypted app. Do you know what Viber is?
No.
Do you know what an encrypted app is?
I do.
What is an encrypted app?
It's my understanding that encrypted app is something that can't really, well, I don't know how true it is, but it was explained to me that it's like a random bunch of numbers when you text or call.
Meaning that someone else wouldn't be able to see the content?
Yes.
So it would be a secret means of communication?
Yes.
In fact, you used the secret means of communication after the murder to communicate with Baker, correct?
Yes.
And what did you use?
WhatsApp, I think is what he told me to download.
And you did that, right? And that was what you used after the murder to communicate back and forth with Baker?
Yes.
Again, I was talking about January 12th, so I told you about how Baker and Monica are communicating via an encrypted app. And then there's phone calls from a house phone, Monica's house phone to Baker, and then all of a sudden, that goes on till 3:04 p.m., and then at 3:04, Baker calls you. And then at 3:07, Baker and Monica are communicating again. My question to you is, did you and Baker discuss the fact that Monica wanted her husband dead prior to the time that you came to LA?
Yes.
What did Baker tell you about that?
He told me, from what I can recall, look, she doesn't like him. She's gonna come into some money.
She's going to come into some money? What does that mean?
I'm assuming if he dies, she is gonna get some money for it.
Is that what they said?
Yes.
If her husband dies, she'll come into money.
Yes.
Okay. So was that also part of the conversations that you were having with Albert Song and Baker regarding getting rid of
that I can remember.
And did Albertson also discuss the fact that Monica wanted to get rid of her husband in order to get his money?
That's what I overheard.
Sorry, Baker was on the stand for 4.5 days. He was on the stand, I think, for 2. This is his 3rd day. I can't answer that question, but it is what it is. I just don't want to look at Baker anymore.
What do you mean overheard?
I had to go home and get a shower and get one of those hairbrushes and scrub my skin to get all the ook off. Not really. That's what it felt like.
When they were talking in conversations, like, oh, she wants him on.
What do you mean by overheard? Like during a three-way?
Like the phone call.
Mm-hmm. Three-way phone call?
Yes.
Was Birdsong part of talking about how to commit the crime?
Yes.
Like in what way?
How to, like, do it and get, and be gone.
What do you mean by be gone? I've heard you mention that before in your interview. What does be gone mean?
And then leave, like, commit the crime and then leave.
Leave what?
Yeah, the crime.
What's his role? Coaching you how to do it? Or just giving advice? Or actually was he going to be more involved at some point?
That's my understanding. He was coaching me how to do it, like tell her what to do.
Who was?
Both Baker and Mr. Birdsong.
So Al and Baker told you what to do?
Yes.
What does that mean?
They told me, you gotta do it quick and easy.
What does quick and easy mean?
Stab him.
So the plan was to stab him?
Yes.
Where was this money coming? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. What?
In the
In the net. Who told you that?
Baker.
Was Baker always planning to be there with you?
You know, they wanted me to do it alone.
They wanted you to do it alone, Al and Baker? You're shaking your head yes. And what was the plan? Tell me about that. What was the plan for you to commit this crime alone?
They were gonna fly in the night I landed.
The 22nd?
Yes, ma'am.
The day you landed?
The day I landed. So, Baker picked me up and he told me, he's like, listen, we're gonna sit and wait. And I just said, okay.
Did you say what for?
No.
You didn't ask questions. Well, before you came in, were you planning on doing this crime alone?
No.
So if you said Alan Baker wanted you to come in and do it alone, when was that discussed?
Sorry, say it again.
When was that discussed? Before you flew in?
Before I flew in.
And you said yes? You agreed to this?
Yes.
And why would you do that?
He told me they're not gonna let anything happen to me. Trust me. I got you.
But what were you gonna get for putting yourself on the line?
They told me they were gonna just hook me up and send for me.
Again, what were you gonna get for doing a murder for them?
I'm assuming they were gonna try to pay me, but they didn't say what type.
What? We didn't just do that, did we?
About her wanting her husband killed.
No, ma'am.
So how do you know that Monica was going to get life insurance money and give you any money?
I trusted Baker. The night we got there.
Well, the night you got there, okay, let's go there. Go ahead. 122.
He said she's gonna send us to the store. And
When?
on 122.
What time?
It was maybe 7 or 8. It was
In the morning?
at night.
Well, he's already dead, guys.
No.
Okay, that's 122. She's gonna send him to the store that night. Okay,
And then we went to the store.
you guys went to the store?
I remember we went to, he said she's going to
Who said?
Baker. He got information,
From who?
Monica.
Where were you?
I was in his house.
So you're at Baker's apartment.
Yeah.
Is his roomie there? The security guard dude, Bailey?
I don't think I met him.
Okay. You have no information that Bailey's involved in anything?
No.
What about a guy named Roger Brown? Ever heard of him?
Yeah.
How about Howard Lynch, a lawyer?
I know that name.
You know Howard Lynch.
I know that name.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah.
I'll come back to the Howard Lynch thing.
One thing,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind. We're talking about, I'm just clarifying. We're talking about you doing that in the early morning hours, right? Because you said it was an overnight flight, you think, wasn't it like an overnight flight? So are we talking about now, the 22nd or the 23rd?
This is January, the night of January 22nd.
You got in the morning of the 22nd?
He gets.
Thank you, Widget. Thank you so much for joining us. You go and enjoy the pub. Oh, I will probably, as soon as this court's over, I've got to go down. I've been sick. I gotta lay down. I got a conference tomorrow night I gotta get ready for. But we'll be back on tomorrow morning with this trial at 11:30 Central Standard Time. And so please come back and join us anytime. Thank you so much, Sticky Widget. We love having you here. Have a great, safe, and blessed evening.
I'm going to give you specifics. You tell me if this is right. It's not on here. It's gotta be, oh, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry.
7:38 in the morning. I'm not right. Good morning. Okay. If you can, and when you say he, like, let us know who, because now we kind of divert a little bit, can you tell us, if you're okay with that, just kind of like, you picture like what the conversation was, like, just tell us straight through, and then she can go back and like ask you some specifics. And you know what we're looking for is like,
I know.
who's talking to who, how do you know?
I want to make sure that you get what you're asking for truthfully.
Right.
I don't want to, oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just say, yeah.
Right, I want to know why.
I don't want to do that.
If you could do it in your words, kind of walk us through when he picked you up maybe, and then we can go back. So that from your words, you can kind of tell us, we know what we're asking you is the conversation about the planning and who was involved in it and how you knew things.
I'm using mostly from Facebook.
Okay, and you can just go through it then.
But you also said birdsong was on the phone and
Right.
giving.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our afternoon recess. We're going to make it 15 minutes so you can get up, stretch.
Okay, they got 15 minutes. Y'all, I still cannot resist this video. I see different versions.
Nothing to do with invites, texts, videos, things that have absolutely nothing to do with communications between Mr. Kearney and the defendant. So how can the Commonwealth make the threshold showing that those are relevant?
First, this is a ruling with Mr. Carney, so I'm asking that Mr. Carney and his attorney be at the table. I'm not sure why we're being joined by Ms. Wheatstein unless they have standing in this.
Your Honor, we're a little confused, and I don't mean to interrupt the proceeding, but as we're.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Of course, I'm sorry. Alan Jackson on behalf of.
Invites, texts, videos, things that have absolutely nothing to do with communications between Mr. Kearney and the defendant. So how can the Commonwealth make the threshold showing that those are relevant?
First, this is a ruling with Mr. Carney, so I'm asking that Mr. Carney and his attorney be at the table. I'm not sure why we're being joined by Ms. Wheatstein unless they have standing in this.
Your Honor, we're a little confused, and I don't mean to interrupt the proceeding, but as we're.
Can you state your name for the record,
Of
please?
course, I'm sorry. Alan Jackson on behalf of.
We invites, texts, videos, things that have absolutely nothing to do.
I know, I know, I know. I just love the look that Karen Reed was giving that prosecutor when she sat down in that chair. She's like, "Oh, honey, boo, you think you're gonna get away with? You think you're gonna mess with this? You're gonna mess with us?" It's like, dun 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 dun, dun the cavalry have arrived. I loved that show. That if it wasn't planned, that should have been planned. That was absolutely fierce and priceless. Now, here's to the other half. Unfortunately, but fortunately, her turtle boy, we have been blessed with. Let me pull it up. The picture I have, not what I wanted to open in. I'm tired of it. Open with photos. Okay. I'm going to share this in a second, guys. Sorry. I got to get it up. Got to get it up and get it big enough where y'all can see it and read it. Okay. We gonna share this now. We's gonna share this. Y'all, I don't feel good, but I'm here for this. I know I'm in biggin. Give me a minute. I'll little me up so y'all can see better. All right, save. Layout. The Commonwealth requests as presented would scoop up the entire universe of Mr. Carney's own messages, photos, videos, and communication with others with no regard or limitation basis on whether the defendant knew or was involved in such communications. As to the type of data, the court finds the Commonwealth has not met its burden as showing either relevant or evidentiary value in the current case under Lamprey. With Lamprey, other requirements the court finds that the Commonwealth has adequately shown its need for the now further limited subset of data question as it pertains to the Commonwealth prosecution of the case. Namely, it cannot properly prepare a trial without such materials, and such material are not otherwise procurable. The court also finds that the request has been made in good faith, and failure to obtain materials may tend to unreasonably delay trial. Let me scroll up. According to the motion, is allowed in part, such that the court orders that the Norfolk District Attorney's Office, especially Special Agent District Attorney Robert Cosgrove, to produce from 2 previously identified cell phones that were obtained through search warrants in connection with the 2 criminal cases currently proceeding against Aidan Kearney. Commonwealth versus Aidan Kearney, ... Any and all evidence between the defendant, Mr. Kearney, concerning communication between Mr. Kearney and any witness or family member of the witnesses involved in the John O'Keefe, to include but not limited to Matthew McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert. Where are the commas, y'all? Oh, there they go. They get them later. Christopher Albert, Colin Albert, Julia Albert, Michael Proctor, Elizabeth Proctor from April 8th of 23 to October 5th of 2023. Pictures or videos depicting evidence or intimidating of witnesses and any witness or family member of witness involved in murdering John O'Keefe, to include but not limited to Matthew McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Christopher Albert. Oh, the same comma problem, so it was a copy and paste. blah, blah, blah. Data evidence dissemination and data depicting evidence intimidating of witnesses of any witness or family member. And the list the same people all over again, dot, dot, dot. So basically, Mr. Kearney, but the thing is he states on X that he did not ever share certain information or give or do anything based out of his office phone that would or could be used against him in a court of law. So I was like, yay, that'd be good. That'd be real good. Well, we could do that. I don't want to do that one sunny day. That'd be funny as hell if we had some good music we could play with the time he stood up. That would be awesome. That would be great. So they already made this, the judge made the decision. Oh. I'm trying to look for new information. Just looking for it. Let me go over to not Elon, Aiden Kearney, because I wanted to. Okay, this is what he says about this thing that I just showed you. Hank Brennan will get access to any messages between me and Karen Reed pertaining to witness intimidations. Unfortunately, for them, there are 0 messages between her and I on my phone. Let this be a lesson to all who value privacy from the government's intrusion. Download the single app. As for the number 2 and 3, I didn't intimidate anyone, so there's no pictures of me doing witness intimidation on my phone. Every picture and video I took the McAlberts were posted online for content. I have nothing to hide. And that's where he stands. That's where he stands. And I'm like, okay, you go, boo. You go, boo. I was just floored. Just floored. Oh, I love this. Love this. Turtle Bill's reaction learning Hank got his communications between him and Karen Reed. That's not what that was, y'all. That was not what that was to. That was to the disagreements that were going between them. A lot of people are confused. How can he sit in the media box when he's charged with intimidation and such? He has a right to earn a living. His job is media. He has filled out the application for it. He was approved for it. There are rules he has to follow, like all the media, and he can't do or say anything that will distract or impede the jury, the court, or persuade the jury. Now, there's no jury in there right now. So, but he's official media. So, he has the right as everybody else to be in there. Oh, sorry. I will say though, oh my gosh, there are people who are going all over the K. Marie. I'm not putting up with that. So anyway, we are on a 15-minute break. We've been listening to in conversations between this co-conspirator. I really feel bad for this guy because what gets me is this guy seems like a really nice guy. This guy seems like he has a good heart. He helped out the guy that he respected more than anyone else in the world, someone that he called uncle, somebody that he loved. And when you love somebody or have that kind of relationship and they say, "Hey, I need you to help me with this," he should have said no. He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have, but he did. And now he's paying the price. But at least he's being honest. He's or trying to be honest. He's coming up and he's just he's very remorseful. And I don't feel bad. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I respect him in the sense that he feels remorseful. You don't get that kind of criminal lately. You know what I mean? Can't get that kind of criminal. I mean, I feel bad. He's the kind of person I can think that you can possibly on parole do well. We'll see. I am going to continue watching the Karen Reed docu-series that's on Max. I am in the 3rd episode. If you've not watched it, I wanted to watch it so now when you guys talk about it online or here on this channel or other channels, I know what you're talking about. A lot of people are taking some of what she said in a very weird and wrong way, but I have to say it's well done. Max, whoever did it, y'all, you did a good job. So I'm just looking for news, trying to find news. But I find it interesting that the medical examiner for the state of Rhode Island, she's not even there anymore, Dr. Elizabeth Lapazada will be the smoking gun for the Karen Reed defense team in trial 2. She is the former medical examiner for the state of Rhode Island and likely has viewed the OJO autopsy video. She has testified in hundreds of cases about death. This one led to an acquittal in Princeton. Wow. So that's who they're going to have. But it amazes me that the prosecution is not even considering to have the original medical examiner in this trial. That amazes me. This is from Aiden Kearney. He says, "Guys, I know and I know I didn't break the law, but I also realize I put myself in harm's way. No one is more disappointed me than I am right now. No one would have blamed me. No one would have blamed me more than I would if that hearing had gone wrong today. I was embarrassed to tell Brandy and so what happened because I knew they would be disappointed in me. I am well aware of the want me in jail and that corrupt police and courts will help them do it. With that said, I don't need you to remind me of this. I do not need any more lectures. I am well aware. I put myself in the situation. I learned my lessons and I won't do it again."
Present the jury and all
There you
present.
go.
Mr. Austin, you're still under oath. Mr. Levine, you may continue.
Continue to, as long as you can play your own.
Yep.
Very good.
One sunny day. Oh my gosh. We had two women fighting it out in the produce aisle in Kerrville, Texas. And there were cops everywhere. Dang.
Right,
Cops were getting so hot, you had to fight for food.
if you could do it in your words, kind of walk us through when he picks you up maybe, and then we can go back. So that from your words, you can kind of tell us, we know what we're asking you is the conversation about the planning and who was involved in it and how you knew him.
I think mostly from state.
Okay, and if you could just go through it then. But you also said bird songs on some and giving.
I did. But in that sense, that was more coach, because again, I was on a need to know. So when they talked about.
What do you mean by need to know? They're only telling you parts.
They're only telling me like parts. I've never talked to them, other than meet her, hi, I'm cool, this is what I do.
Right.
And you went through the basketball thing. Like I said, I would be into myself, but I don't know what's going on.
When the conference.
When he picked me up, that's what you want to know.
I just, yes, the line that she was just asking.
Yeah, I've seen the Menendez thing on Netflix already.
Picked up, I'm going back to the house, I'm chill.
Excuse me.
This is Baker's apartment?
Yes.
Do you remember the address of the street?
No.
Does the street Independence ring a bell?
Yes, by a gas station.
Okay.
I'm a landmark person, so I don't know if that helps you.
I know exactly the gas station you're talking about.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna chill, wait, and then you went to the store, you bought a knife.
Which store?
A Walmart. I remember the Walmart.
Did you go with?
I did.
Did you go with him?
In the store?
Yeah.
I did.
What kind of knife?
A little,
Folding knife?
folding knife. Folding knife.
What do you need, one? Was there more than one?
Yeah, he already have one. He's like a little weapons collector person.
But the knife that was bought at Walmart with you present to use for the murder is what kind of knife?
Probably long term, but he was a hunting knife.
Hunting knife. Let me just stop you for a second. Just quickly, and I'm gonna go out of order. Number 6. So that's number 6. Do you recognize this knife? Is this the knife the two of you bought, or is this the knife Baker already had? The folding knife.
I think that's the one.
This is the knife he bought with you
I think so.
at Walmart. So you would call this not a folding knife, you would call this a hunting knife?
Well, it technically is a folding knife, but it's folding into it, so.
But you call it a hunting knife.
No, I would call it a folding knife, because it kind of moves to the side.
But you used the hunting knife, and so I just want to make sure we talk about the same knife.
That's the knife, yeah.
You only got one knife with him, or did you buy more than one knife with him?
I think there were 2 knives.
You bought 2 knives that night.
I think so, yes.
What was the other knife?
It was, I think that one was like one that went into like a pouch, I believe.
Okay. Is that the one that you were referring to as a hunting knife?
Yes.
And was the idea that each of you were gonna have a knife on you when you went to this scene? But you had told us just a little while ago that Baker and Al wanted you to go in and do the murder alone.
Yes.
What changed, and when did that change?
Well, taking me to the day I got there, that night.
Mm-hmm. You go into Walmart with him.
I got it
Okay, good. Do it in your order. We'll go back.
That was already the Walmart. We went there, did that, came back to the house. And he was, I believe he was either texting her or call. Baker was either texting Monica or call.
How do you know that?
I believe it was a text, so I don't think I saw him on the phone. And he said he's gonna send her to the store. He's gonna send him to the store. She's gonna send him to the store.
Baker said this.
Baker informed me that Monica is gonna send her husband to the store to get him stuff. And he said, we're gonna meet him there. He said, I want you to go out and look for a blue pickup truck.
Blue?
I think it was blue. Blue or black. It was a dark colored pickup truck.
Okay.
And I went and saw him, and I went back to the car. He said, you didn't do it? No.
Did you see him?
I caught a glance at him, yes.
Do you know what he looks like?
Not really. I didn't have a glasses.
Did anybody show you or send you a photo of him ahead of time so you would know who you were looking for?
He showed me a picture.
Who did?
Baker did.
Of the person you're supposed to kill?
Yes.
When did he show you that photo?
I think the night I got there.
That was the first time.
To my knowledge, yes. That I can recall.
Did he tell you his name? Did you know his name ahead of time?
No. He told me, he said, we don't know this one.
Hola,
He
Angela.
said what?
He said, you don't know
Hey,
this one.
Angela, how
You
are
know
you?
that's
That's what he told me.
When did he show you the picture of the person he wanted you to kill?
I want to say that the night after before we went to the store to see if he was alone.
The night that he came in?
Yeah, that Monica sent him to the store.
Did you go with Baker to the store? You said you went looking for the truck.
Yeah, he parked and then he told me to get out. And I said, okay. Now again, I don't have my glasses on, so I don't.
Where did they park?
On the other side of the store.
What store?
Don't recall the name of the store, but it wasn't too far from the house.
Supermarket? Drugstore? What kind of store?
Grocery store. I said, what's popular here? Ralph's is popular here, right? Is it Ralph? There's many of them. There was a grocery store.
And he stayed in the lot?
He stayed in the car.
And what are you wearing when you go in?
Dark clothes that I can remember.
Well, gave them to you. You didn't know it. Did he say you went in for it?
I didn't know anything. Kind of like,
Lured out front?
kind of like, from what I remember walking through, like a, shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shopping center. And it was like a grocery store on the other side. So people,
Busy? What time of night?
kind of, pretty considerably.
Well, that's not right.
It was dark down, like, it was dark.
Was the plan that you were gonna do something in the parking lot?
They wanted
Okay. What a day.
Baker and Monica,
How do you know that?
because Baker told me that Monica could come to the store so we can get on there.
I'm gonna show you number 7. Were you shown a photo of that guy by Baker so you would know who to look for? Is that Fabio Sementilli, the guy you were supposed to kill?
Yes.
Why do they want you to do it? You never
I hate it when they get off the microphone. Get on the mic.
Baker.
Let me tell you what I believe is, like, because I wasn't from here.
Did they say anything about that? Did they say no one knows you out here?
Baker said, no, you're not known out here. You don't have a record. It's in and out. I don't want to let anything happen to you. Trust me. And I trusted.
And so what happened at that store that night?
I didn't do it.
Why?
I got back in the car and I can't do it.
Because you were afraid? Is that a yes?
Yes.
And so then what happened?
She said, don't worry about it. And then we went back to the house. And at that point, I was like, cool. I'm somebody else. I don't want to do we're gonna go down to Hollywood, we're gonna eat Roscoe's, we're gonna get back to what we used to do, just kind of chill, like, sorry, I should do that, don't worry about it. That's what we're gonna do on my day, because we said, trust me. The day it happened, he's like, what about going with you? I was like, I don't want to go. He said, I need you to go with me. I said, okay, cool. And I was in there for a while. I was trying to figure out, like, how can I get out of here? And I arrived at the airport.
And does Baker, do you go with Baker that morning when he leaves? The apartment. Remember you talked?
I was at his apartment most of the day.
And he leave for a certain period of time?
When I woke up, he was gone. I don't know, he went to the store or something like that.
And when Baker picked you up at the airport on the 22nd, do you remember what vehicle he was driving?
I was showing a picture, so I know now. It's like a little.
I'm talking about the day of that he picked you up at LAX. Do you remember what he was driving that day?
The day he picked me up, like a little Nissan.
Is it possible that the Nissan was the car that he didn't get until the day of the murder? Do you remember? Okay.
Wait. You said
When he picked you up at LAX on January 22nd, the night that you were supposed to go kill Fabio, after the two of you went to Walgreens and purchased 2 knives. Do you remember what car he picked you up from the airport in?
he was the Nissan Expedition.
Quick question, are we gonna take a lunch recess?
Yes.
I thought.
Is now a good time? Is that your interest?
Now is a good time. And I can, yeah, now is a good time, maybe.
Okay, how long do y'all want? Do we want to go on the record still? And you can go off the record because we're talking about lunch now at 12:44. All right, it's 1:44. I think everybody's had 44. Everybody's had an opportunity to have something to eat and drink. Mr. Austin, have you been able to have something to drink and get something to eat?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Heather, do you want to back up a little bit? All right, so going back to the conversation when it first started.
Let me just say for the record that I bought lunch for Mr. Austin from Senior Fish down the street, so there's no speculation about his lunch. We can proceed.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, so back to the conversation, the best you can remember when it first started, right? If you remember, was it Baker that came up and started this whole idea? Was it Bertram? Were they together? If you remember how it first started, that there was a conversation about this.
They were together.
In person?
Yeah.
Okay, where did you see it? Do you remember? Okay, when was that? Was it the time that we talked about before when you got that ticket at the Aria? Was it that trip?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was July of 2016, does that sound right?
It was hot, yeah.
Okay. So, good.
The Kudo, and Buddy went to school with, I was kind of looking at I believe so, around that time.
So before that, you don't recall any conversations about Monica's husband and doing anything to him? There was nothing talked about before that? When you went to Vegas, did you know that you're going to talk about that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. So when you got to, when you went to Vegas, what you were going for what?
Then the person that he wanted, I see him in a while, just come hang out.
Okay. So when you started there with Baker and picked you up, you go to Vegas.
I apologize, y'all. They keep coming off of that mic and it drives me back crazy.
And then how did this conversation evolve about Monica and her husband?
He said that he was messing with somebody, and my mom, my guy, whatever,
You're talking about Baker?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always messing with somebody.
Okay.
That I can't remember, they started just talking about like, yo, she's got money, da-da-da. I was like, oh, damn. I think I made like a stupid comment, and like, man, you must have hit me. He was like, you know, he was like, trying. That I don't recall like how the conversation would be.
Yeah.
And then I walked away or something like that. They always talk in secret.
Who's that?
Mr. Bird, Baker.
Like code words?
No. They just,
Oh.
closed doors, it's like, they were both government officials, so like, government officials, like, I'm not government official, so it's not my business.
Baker was a government official?
He told me he was an MP.
Years ago.
Yeah.
So were you at, were you at Bertram's house?
Yes.
Okay. And then somehow the conversation had come up about Monica and her husband.
I don't recall, but I just recall him saying the comment to somebody that introduced you one day. Like, oh, okay.
Now, at that moment, did you know that she was in Vegas at the same time?
No.
That whole trip then, did you find out she was in Vegas at some point?
No, I don't really remember that.
Okay. So how did it come up then? Was that the first time you had a conversation just about Monica and her husband or about, doing something to her husband?
That was, I think, a few nights later, I think just before I left, they were like talking about it, drinking beers, like, yo, you might have a job for you.
Okay, that's
how it kind of come up for me.
Who said they might have a job?
Baker.
And then how did that conversation go? Kind of walk me through what you can best remember. And who said what?
I was in and out of the house. Okay. So I want to put that on record. The one that came
That is too cute, Jude. That's too cute.
You could be with it, but good what? Like, they said nothing. I was like, oh, okay. I kept drinking beer at the time. And then what I can't recall was like,
I'm tired of being sick. Tired of being sick. Tired of being sick.
I was like, and again, quiet. For context, speak when spoken to, subject. I doesn't interrupt. Like,
What does she don't like him mean? What did they say about that?
to my knowledge, she don't like him, meaning like she doesn't like the man she's with right now.
And did someone say that to you?
Bigger.
They said that,
Not to me,
but in front of you.
in front of me.
At this point, you had never met her.
No.
You knew of her name, just from Baker, that's it, just Monica.
I'm not lying. When you mentioned her name, that's when her name came back up. I forgot her name.
Okay.
Just like up there.
Well, good luck on your test, honey boo. I'll start my college class.
But you knew who he was talking about was Bertram. You knew it was Monica then. When he's talking about her, she don't like him.
After
After
kind of clicked.
Okay.
That this is the person that we're talking about in Vegas, to my knowledge.
That Baker and Bertram were talking.
Yes.
Okay. So now you know they're trying to get you maybe involved.
In some way, shape, or
In
form.
some way. Did you ask any questions then?
No.
Did the conversation go any further at that point?
No.
Okay, so it kind of just ended with, there's no planning, no talking about anything.
No, not to my knowledge, no. Typically how anything, when I worked for him, was like, hey, I'm usually something about man, really had other, what's up, like, I'll let you know. And then that's about how it happens, like, I'll let you know. And so I was like, okay. Then I go on about my married, but away.
And then the rest of your trip in Vegas, then you didn't see any females with Baker that you would have thought was this Monica person or anything like that?
No, I don't know about that.
Do you have any other Vegas? Yeah, if I were to tell you that we were able to put your phone, Baker's phone, and Monica's phone all together at the Aria in July of 2016, how would you be able to explain that?
I rode with Baker to the Aria, to a ride, and I went.
Do you remember doing that?
I remember riding him to the Aria. And when you asked about it, I was like, have I been to this? I've been to this like 2 times.
And this is in July of 2016.
Yes.
And did Baker, during this trip, mention to you or to Al in front of you that Monica and Fabio were also there at
No. But I do remember being at that hotel and casinos, and I remember standing around. Valet card thingy. Kind of looks like money for the slot machine, but how they work it.
Did you also draw some money at the Aria?
I think so, yeah.
How did you and Baker get to Vegas? Did you fly in initially to LAX and then drive
We drove.
from LAX or from Baker's?
Yeah.
And did you drive in a rental vehicle, in Baker's Expedition, do you recall?
I think we could get some money saved. It was so lucky we probably did.
We're gonna show you a picture. So you flew in, did Baker again give you the money for the ticket to come into LAX?
I think so. I think he bought it. He had all my information. So I'm about to
Would you ever purchase your own ticket to come to LAX?
If I had, the finances, sure, I'd come to LA, buy it myself.
Do you remember ever doing that when you went to Vegas, or did you know Baker sent you the money for this July 2016 trip?
I think I might have bought the ticket to come see him.
Showing you Exhibit 8. Is this the Mustang that you're referring to? It's a red Mustang?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize, by the way, this parking garage? It's the parking garage where Baker was living when you went to stay with him, not only in 2016, but again right before the murder in 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't recall ever running into or having any conversations or meeting Monica at all in Las Vegas in 2016?
I don't recall, but I might have.
So you could have.
I could have.
Okay, so as far as that trip, then you drove back with Baker, then you drove back to LA, and then flew back to Boston?
Yes.
Okay. So that initial conversation, you heard part of them talking something about her not liking this woman, not liking her husband. How did it, when's the next time it came out that there started being conversations between you and Birdsong and Baker?
I gotta go back to 2016, right? I was working on Maya came up and I had a phone conversation. You recall that you remember I think I did meet her in Vegas. You remember that?
You did meet her?
I think I did.
Where?
In Vegas.
Where?
I think at the hotel.
Do you remember anything about it at all?
No. I don't remember the other hotel other than the little car and the Aria hotel. That is the Aria hotel.
And what did you guys do together?
I remember standing. We probably would have ate. We all watching TV. So.
Was it Birdsong with you guys? If you remember. Or do you think it was just Rob and Monica?
I think it was me and Rob. I think it was me and Baker. I think Birdsong stayed at the house.
So that's one on Timberline?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she have a daughter that you knew?
Yes.
What's her name? Jamie? Is it Jenny? His daughter? Albert Tom. Jamie. How many times would you say you stayed with Albert Tom in Las Vegas over the years? A dozen? More?
That's when I visited. So if it was a 4-day trip, that's where I was at for 3 nights.
So how many times?
Maybe 8.
Total, over all these years?
Yeah. Maybe about 8. into a bad business deal with a friend, that a former friend, and I'm in debt, you know, a lot of money, so I gotta work to pay that off.
Did you guys talk about this murder after the murder?
No.
Never.
After,
Yes.
so in 2017,
Yes.
yes.
So tell us about in 2017 after the murder what your conversations were with Albert.
He told me not to say anything. He said, don't say nothing. I know how this works. You can get a lawyer immediately. And, you know, powerful women. So
Powerful what?
Powerful women fight because, you know, I listened to that when I talked to you. When I saw Heather, I was like, ooh.
Anyway.
I'm not playing her.
So, but did the two of you discuss like what had happened during the murder?
He knew about it.
What did you discuss?
He told me, don't say anything to nobody, keep yourself together.
What did you tell him?
I just said, okay.
He told you to get a passport?
Told me to get a passport. Don't say anything. If everything goes through, Baker's gonna send for you.
What does that mean?
Fly me out of Alaska. That's how I interpreted it.
And send you where?
I have no clue.
But at that
I
time,
didn't say.
you were already hooked up with Chloe. So
Yeah.
it would have included her.
No.
So you would have left Chloe and gone alone somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that yes?
He asked me if you can share, his office with you guys, I said yes. Go ahead.
After that had happened, I didn't anticipate being with Chloe anymore because I didn't anticipate being alive because I planned to kill myself. Because of the lack of start. I was just planning to do that.
Why?
I had a shame of what I had done. And because of what I had participated in, I didn't want to be alive anymore, so I planned numerous ways to get rid of myself so that nobody could ever miss me. It was very dark.
Did you communicate with Albert through phone calls, emails, messaging apps, burner phones?
Phone calls, burner phone at one point.
The same burner phone you used with Baker?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did Albert talk to you about before the murder about how to go about committing the murder? If he said anything at all about that?
Oh, I was in the room.
Welcome back.
No.
Glad to have you back, love.
They were in the, we were in the room, one of his rooms, and they were talking about how would you do it, and he said, you know, you gotta run along somebody, you gotta hit them in the neck quick.
Why wasn't that?
I heard the word jugular.
From who?
I'm gonna say Baker, the word I'm gonna read, so yeah, that's the best way to do it.
And this is when you guys were talking about the fact that you were going to kill Monica's husband at some point.
Yes.
And this was happening in what month?
They didn't say what.
When was this conversation?
When I was in Vegas.
July?
In July.
So this is the time when you met Monica in July, Vegas?
Like I said, yes, I probably met her, but I just don't remember meeting her in Vegas.
But then you just told us a few minutes ago you think you did.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. So something jogs your memory because you said, oh wait, I did. You said Baker called you. I asked you when the next time it is after Vegas that you talked about Monica and her husband and maybe a plan, and that seemed to jog your memory. And you said, you know what, I did meet her. Is that?
I think I did meet her.
That jogs your memory. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but because I had met so many people, she was just another person And when I say just another person, I don't mean that in like a disregard for people. I'm like, okay, this is somebody that he's probably, interested in working a deal with.
Had you already met her before at the gym, before this date? Or was the time that you told us about earlier after?
I don't think so. I think now that Jim is like, you remember her, right? Like, yeah, and I think he played a couple games of racquetball together. To see my teaching. I was like, okay. Because he taught me how to play years ago.
Baker?
Yeah,
So the gym you think was the second time you met her?
I think so.
When was it that you went to her house?
Probably later that night or the next night.
Night of what?
I don't remember the night, but I know it was dark.
You mean the time that you went and met her at the gym? What year were we talking about when you first went to Monica's house?
The 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
You went to Monica's house in Baker.
Yeah.
Would that have been the first, second, or third time you met her?
I'm confused. I didn't like what you said.
So you said you believe you met her first in Las Vegas in 2016.
As a brief interaction, probably, yeah.
Met is met. I'm not asking you for how long. You said you met her also at LA Fitness, and you played racquetball with her.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably either that night after racquetball or the next night, we went to her house.
Who went?
Baker took me over there.
And when you went to Monica's house, who was home?
Monica.
Alone?
To my knowledge, yes.
Did you see anybody else?
No, I did
Any
not.
cars in the driveway?
No, I did not.
Did they tell you why you were going to Monica's house?
No.
And what happened when you got to Monica's house?
She had some pizza. I ate some pizza.
She made it or ordered it?
Ordered it.
Okay.
Donald.
Okay.
Ate a couple slices of pizza. They talked about racquetball. She showed me the back patio.
Why did she show you the back patio?
I think she was showing me her house.
Did she tell you that that's the location where her husband would hang out all the time?
She said this is where we hang out all the time.
Did anybody ever tell you, Baker, Monica, anybody else, that Fabio at any time would always hang out on the back patio?
Baker told me after, I don't know how long I was there because I fell asleep.
At Monica's house?
On the couch, yeah. But after the Baker tapped and said, hey, let's go. So, got in the car, said, you all right? I'm sure. So apparently, that's what he liked to hang out in the back. I remember that. Don't fall in the pool. I said, what? And I just shut it off. I just said, okay.
But this is after Las Vegas, so you already knew that there was a plan that to kill you.
Now, yeah.
So it's time to tell you, you already knew that, the
Yeah.
plan, okay. I'm gonna go back to what I was asking, if you can help me. You did Vegas, and you said you got a dog of a memory that you didn't know. And again, just met maybe saw her in Vegas. Do you remember, do you think it's after you saw her, that you went back and then you started having a conversation about when first I was giving kind of direction on how to deal with it after?
Come on, get on the microphone, y'all.
So that's how you knew who they were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And then was Birdsong also giving you any who feel like they were leading the plan? Was it Baker or Birdsong?
I believe they were kind of working together.
Okay.
They're both former government, so again.
Well, I hope government people don't plan that.
Sorry.
They were talking amongst each other how to do it. Yeah.
In front of you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like what?
Like, he could probably do it. He's asking him, like, what do you mean? And then they started,
So they said how to do it?
how to do it.
Like how did they say let's check first weapons. Are they chopping power? Are they shooting knives? Gun?
First off, I was like, beat up, And then they was like, maybe you could sneak in while he's sleeping, or come on, or something. We don't have nothing to do with then.
So the report, did it sound like from what they were saying that Monica was in on this as well?
It seems that way, I guess.
Why?
Just because it's like how, not how the conversation, how they were going, like they were on the phone a lot.
Okay, did you hear him talking to them or just texting? And did you think he was texting Monica? Or the woman this morning?
I think so.
But I guess
But I
that's why.
When,
Like, why do you think that she was in on it and he was maybe communicating with her?
probably because they were next to each other.
But would you like respond to text and say, oh, and you can do this, oh, he won't be home at this time, but he, did you like he was referencing his phone while he
The
was
day
home?
of, I can,
Okay.
if you're.
We'll get there.
Okay, so we're
Still in May.
okay. I don't know about that.
Okay.
But it just, if they were talking about it, it seemed like that would be good.
Okay.
She'd be the person why, so she needs the information.
And when you first met Monica in Vegas during that 26.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to adjourn until tomorrow at 9 a.m. As always, the evidence applies. You must discuss this case either among yourselves or with anyone else or form express an opinion to the cause that's submitted to you. Go ahead and leave your transcripts on your seat or in front of you. Have a good evening. Tomorrow will be the last day for a while for all of us. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow at 9.
Yay, that's done. Okay, guys, perfect timing. Do you know why? Because Miss June and As the Gavel Drops, by the way, if you don't know, or you're new to this channel and you're not familiar with them, please go to your Discord, go to As the Gavel Drops, join, validate your account, and you too can have access to the vast amount of documents for hundreds of cases. But for us, importantly, Karen Reed, and you can access the same ones I'm getting ready to read right now. So go to As the Gavel Drops mod. Please drop their link because, honey boo boo, we got some reading to do. God, I hope my voice will hold up. Okay, guys, I am really struggling with my voice, but we're going to give it a go. If you guys can be patient and tolerant of me, that would be fabulous because this is very difficult when you're sick to have to do, but I do it because I love and appreciate you. And I want you guys to be able to see what I see. Okay, let me get it lined up. Let me get it set up. Make this a little smaller. Make this a little bigger. Probably the biggest I can make it. Okay, guys. And we're off. Commonwealth versus Karen Reed memorandum decision and order on Commonwealth's motion for records from docket ... Special Assistant District Attorney Robert Cosgrove. Let me get a piece of gum in my mouth. That way maybe I won't get so dry. Give me a second. What? I'll call you, hun, when I get off of the live. If you need something, I can bring it out. Dear friend of mine fell and hurt themselves. But then again, he's accident prone as heck. Turn this off. Okay, let's get reading. The defendant's charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter for the influence of leaving the scene of crime, blah, 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 requesting the court to order the production of certain cell phone records in custody, possession, and control of the Norfolk, I want to say Norfolk County. I didn't say that word. I said it right. That's how they say it.
Toxic is amazing. See you tomorrow, Rhonda. Her, District Attorney Special Agent District Attorney Robert Cosgrove, that were obtained by search warrants connected with the trial cases currently proceeding as Mr. Aidan Kearney, and also the hearing before the court with Karen Reed. The decision, Commonwealth seeks data. Oh, we've already read this, part of it. From 2 cells belonging to Aidan Kearney that were seized and searched pursuant to the search warrant issued in connection to the 2 criminal cases against Kearney. Those 2 cases, among several other charges, Mr. Kearney is charged with multiple counts of intimidation of witnesses. The witnesses in the question are individuals who are either witnesses or related to witnesses in the instant above captioned case. The Commonwealth argues that certain data seized from Mr. Kearney's phone from the time period April 1st of 23 through October 5th of 23 is relevant and has evidentiary value in the current case because the relevant read is outgoing communication with Ms. Kearney during this time period. Share Mr. Kearney's defense theories, materials, or other evidence from her case, sometimes those securing message applications and through an intermediary such as communication, including witness information, home address, grand jury minutes, autopsy photos, and the like. Really? And interference can be made with the parties encouraging Mr. Kearney to personally attack witnesses and their family members with a sole purpose of embarrassing, intimidating, harassing, and deterring these individuals from testifying. All righty then. The Commonwealth intends to use the data concerning certain communications found on Mr. Kearney's phone related to the alleged witness intimidation in the light of the defendant's ongoing communications with Mr. Kearney and evidence of the defendant's consciousness of guilt. The Commonwealth also argues that the materials are not otherwise available and cannot be properly prepared without trial for production of such materials, and the failure to obtain them such through this request would tend to unreasonably delay the trial. We have read all of this, so they're going to get that. All righty. Now we're going to this baby. Come on down. The price is right, baby. I'm going to have to make that a little smaller. Okay. This may be hard for me to read, but let's see if I can. Judge, whatever. Could you, this was received on March 20th of 25. Oh, filed with the clerk. It was sent on 3/18/25. Could you please look into the case, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed? This case is so corrupt. Camp PD, Michael Morrissey, and his employees, Judge Beverly Canone. This poor Karen Reed has been framed. The CPD nor the MSP never secured the scene where John O'Keefe was found. Finding a body on someone's lawn is a very serious situation. They never secured the area where the body was found. The Canton PD and MSPD never entered the house because it was the house of a police officer. All MSP did was frame Ms. Karen Reed. If that was someone else's house, that house would have been searched. Judge Beverly Canone is not fair in giving this lady a fair trial. There was a jury tampering conflict of interest in this case with Judge Canone and Michael Proctor. And Judge Canone picked the jury floor person, a Massachusetts police officer. Did I miss that? What? Are you telling me that the floor person was a police officer? What? That's why the writing was so good. Being deaf, sometimes you just miss things, but God almighty. So many times during the first trial, Judge Canone would send the jury out of the courtroom so they couldn't hear a lot of the stuff that was going on. Judge Canone also allowed some of the witnesses to attend closing arguments and that they sat where they are directly looking at the jurors to intimidate jurors. This is the most corrupt case Massachusetts seriously concerned regarding bias, failure to adhere to the legal standards, and inappropriate courtroom management, all of which undermine the public confidence in the judicial system and the right to a fair trial. Alrighty then. Specific allegations of the misconduct and bias appearance of the impropriety of whatever. Judge Canone rulings have consistently favored the prosecution, violating Massachusetts Code of Judicial Office fairly and impartiality. Could you please watch the first trial and see what really happened? She allowed the Commonwealth of all motions they wanted. During the first trial, she never did a full day of trial. All of this was a waste of time and costing the state so much money. The whole case is unfair. Conflict of interest with the Judge Canone and Michael Proctor was with people involved in this case. So many rules have been broken. Failure to follow Massachusetts legal precedent. Miss Reed is being framed. Just think that Miss Reed could have been the person, could have been a family member of yours. 3 years of this going on, they have framed her because they didn't think she was going to put up a fight. The most corrupt case. Unsigned. Unsigned. That, my dear friends, is interesting. Couldn't even write on the lines. Here's something else, guys. I have this, but I haven't been able to dive into it yet. This is sustained allegations and disciplinary actions listed prior to January something of 25. Right here. I didn't want to choose a color. I want to choose this. That's important. You're a Butnick, certified, current agency, Massachusetts State Police, 8/17/22, after the death of John O'Keefe. Lost time, forfeiture, 5 days time off, sustained other misconduct, failure to respond to an incident recording according to established procedures, failure to supervise and not properly counsel his subordinate, concerns inappropriate text message between him, department members. So this has to do with, I think this has to do with Proctor. Second, failure to respond to an incident according to established procedure, failure to properly evaluate his subordinate when he gave praise in several anchor dispute evidence of the contrary. So they're going after him. Yeah, yes, he got it. They got it. He got in trouble. I love Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality, and she came out and talked to the her boss in charge of investigation. She goes, "You think you like it. You know you love it. You know you want it." So I just do that. John Albert, Kevin Albert. What? We got John and Kevin Albert here, y'all. John and Kevin Albert. Oh, why can't you just go in between? Gee, gads. It won't. I'll just have to slide it. John Albert, 20th. Suspension, 1 to 5 days. Written reprimand, inappropriate, unprofessional comments to social media on 5/4/2020 before the Karen Reed. 8/5 and 97, Cambridge Police Department. Crime involving force, assault, and battery. What? Suspension, 6 to 29 days. On 5/24, Cambridge Police, 1 to 5 day failure to appear in court. Conduct
other and unbecoming. The first was crime involving physical force. And 7/21 of 92, conduct unbecoming, failure to appear in court. Kevin Albert, 7/9/22, after the death of O'Keefe, misconduct, non-minor policy violation, possession or use of alcohol. Sustained another misconduct, other unbecoming, possession of use of alcohol. So he has an alcohol problem. He's got it. He's got a liquor problem. All of them have an alcohol problem. I mean, Trooper Proctor is drinking at dinner and driving the vehicle, work vehicle. Here's Brian Tully. This ought to be good. Sensei back. Brian Tully, 5/6 of 2024, 2 hours later, 2 years later. Massachusetts State Police, count 1. Failure to respond to an incident according to established procedures. Failure to appropriately correct the actions. That has to do with Trooper. Failure to respond to an action or procedure. Failure to properly evaluate Yuri Bruknik despite the evidence of the contrary negative performance. Failure to respond to an incident according to established procedure. Again, that's 3. Failure to properly evaluate. Oh, Michael Trooper Proctor, despite the evidence to the contrary of negative performance. Number 4, failure to respond to incident according to established procedures. DLT Tully failed to supervise those proper corrective actions SPDU Norfolk members who were involved in inappropriate text messages relating to a murder investigation. Failure to respond to an incident according to established procedure. Did not properly document negative performance of Sergeant Yuri Brutnik, or failure to take corrective actions as a supervisor for Trooper Proctor. Inappropriate text messages regarding a criminal investigation. He got his butt in a knot, but he still has a job. Now, is John Tully? There's a lot of Tullys. So he got in trouble too, y'all. I'm glad to see that. I am glad to see that that's finally come out, because that is why it's important to be able to bring up someone's personal past and political and current disciplinary actions. One of those is when he left his badge and weapon in Proctor's car. Yeah, but that can sometimes happen by accident, and I'm not as upset over that. What I'm upset about more than anything is the allowing Proctor to continue doing what he was doing when he knew it was wrong. They all knew it was wrong, and instead of disciplining him, they just laughed it off and let him do what they were going to do, which to me is BS. And they should have been disciplined. So Tracy K and Miss June, thank you so much for the documents. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. And the witness list keeps growing on both sides. Our dog lover said they're bored. They should go to bed. We need that sound bite. Do it. I need to learn how to make spreadsheets, I guess. Angela's working on it for me, but I need to learn how to do it. I just got to bite the bullet and not be so scared. Okay, guys, it's almost 7:00. I've got a lot to do tonight before tomorrow, and I do need to try to get to bed. So I'm going to let you go. May you be blessed. May you have a fabulous evening. We will be here tomorrow morning for more of the Monica Sementilli trial. I'm not sure. I have to look. I don't think we have anything for Karen Reed tomorrow. Oh, shoot. We could watch this together. Anybody interested in watching the ex-sheriff Mickey Stein's mental health Vinnie Politan investigates? No, I can't. I want to. I'll watch it. I got to go home. I need to just figure out if we're going to have more Karen Reed tomorrow on the 25th. Okay, that's already scheduled. So that's day 3. I'll schedule that next week. Okay, guys, you guys are awesome. And I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for tolerating me being sick. I know I've not been up to par. I've not been myself. And I think overall today was a better day, but evenings are still super tough and mornings are like brutal, but midday and early evening's fine. So we'll see you later. Oh, we got to do the giveaways. I don't want to leave without doing the giveaways. We got a couple to do, y'all. Let me bring that up and cut it out. Let me present screen. This is the 7 one. Okay. Why did that quit? Honey hadn't won one. Yay, Elena! Uh-oh. There we go. Wrong. They're both at the same number. I'm going to draw one more time because I can. Giving extras away today. Tash, congratulations. You have an entry. We'll go to the next one. Excuse me. Tash, you won again. We'll go ahead and do one more giveaway. Yay, June, you won. Congratulations, y'all. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. And I won't be on at 8 a.m. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, dear Jesus. I am so happy. Oh, babe, please, I need you to teach me. Okay, guys. Miigwech, have a great evening. Get some rest. I am out. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.